Hey you folks, welcome to Radio Quill and our Lo-Fi Beats channel. Hey everybody! Happy Saturday! Hope everyone's doing okay. I don't know, sometimes I feel a little like DJ Quill, especially during the pre-stream. Especially back in the day, when we really didn't have to worry about the DMCAs coming after us, and I could just play stuff off my Spotify list. That was always a great old time. Let's get the main screen turned on. Hey everybody! I hope everyone's having a lovely day. I'm very excited today. I've been very excited to continue our Dwarf Fortress. I've been having so much fun with our run. Hopefully everything's good with the green screen. I have a new lighting setup over here finally, and looking pretty good. I'm not seeing any shadows or anything. Got a bunch of new lights. I got some like switches so I can turn them on a little bit better and see what we can get. Let's bring the volumes down just a scooch, so I didn't do that before the stream started. Bum-ba-bum. A couple of people are having some Twitch buffering issues. It might just be a particular, like, Twitch server. So, maybe refreshing or something. I don't know, could be regional. Hopefully we're gonna be okay throughout all this. We'll see. One thing we could do is I'd literally bring up, like, I could bring up the pretzel window. Whoa! But, alright, maybe I've been a little too aggressive with the similar colors. That's weird. Oh, there's a see-through effect going on. Hang on, it's my smoothing. I mean, it's kind of cool, but I think I'm gonna go and try to fixify that. So if I bring down the slimmer filter, well, that's smoothness. Hold on, okay, the smoothness is the other step. I gotta bring this down. It's mostly gone. I have a fairly generous amount of like smoothing and similar color stuff, just to make sure there's less artifacting. I don't mind a little see-throughness on myself, but that looks pretty good. All right, hey. Yes, my anime charging power, my anime powers. Yeah, just need to get the golden hair thing going on. So yeah, we could switch to a different channel. For the Dwarf Fortress, we've done the epic one, which is quite good, and the lo-fi one is surprisingly decent. I think there's another one I've played before. I may have played Chill, or Ambient, actually, I think. The Ambient works out pretty well for Dwarf Fortress. Hold on. It's whiskey and chocolate! I think it's actually pretty decent. We got some whiskey and chocolate. Oh, we got some right before the stream started as well from Sokum. So let's go and take a look at that real quick, and then we'll start dwarfing up all the fortresses. Hype for some more Democracy 4 content. Yeah, so there's gonna be some more Democracy 4. As I was just answering to someone else in the chat, this has been a really crazy week/month over here. We've got tons of stuff going on around the household. I haven't had as much time to record lately, but things should pick up again. Well, starting tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna have a bunch of time, I think, to do some recordings. One thing I definitely want to do is do the full Canada run, which is only gonna be like 3 or 4 episodes, so it's gonna be pretty easy. And then dive back into some Crusader Kings, which is going to be good, and then see where I can catch up from there. So yeah, things have been a little bit behind on the Yub-Tubs. But yes, we had Sokum earlier, just before the stream started. Sokum gave to the Whiskey and Chocolate Fund, which was really nice, and said, "Hi Quill, early joke, because I can't stay long. Me, I'll have the mouse, please. Waiter, that's moose, sir." Oh, never mind then, that'll be way too much food. Have a great stream. Thank you very much, Sokum. Sorry you can't stay long. Hopefully you'll catch the VOD, so you can stay up to date on all the dwarfy happenings. And Aku just now, thank you as well, says, stop playing my game to watch someone do a far better job at it. Well, we'll see, Aku. We'll see. Nice thing about some games is you can play them while you watch streams, too. This tends to be my favorite games, because I really like to do a couple things at once. We had tons of gift subs that came in earlier. So thank you very much to, we had Private Paula give a gift sub, Temporal Mouse, speaking of mouse, gave some gift subs, as well as For Evil Not Good, and they actually got the hype train started, which was really awesome. We also got some resubs from Rockroom at 28 months, Husam at 40 months, Reg Cooper has hit 97 months from Reg Cooper. Kaylen has a 12 months. It's a 1-year Twitch anniversary from Kaylen. Thank you very much there. Oh, Cyclovex also gave some gift subs. Didn't show up on my list properly, but I'm seeing it now looking through here. Thank you very much, Cyclovex. Ubershroom has resubbed for 84 months. Mr. Ubershroom says, "Is this a Dwarf Fortress speedrun?" Yes, because you guys know me. I play very fast. That's my style. Kevin at 38 months. Akuthian at 30 months. Super Gladiator at 7 months is another step closer to subbing for a whole year while looking in the background. Hello, I love all the content. And I raise a mug to thee. Thank you very much. I should have my stone mug. Oh, it's right over there. I'll grab it in a second. Gerdo, and I'll get the hat on as well, I promise. Gerdo is resubbed for 71 months. Thank you so much over there. Castor at 53. Trachonium at 21 months. The Dark Complex at 63. Merlin of Chaos, 46 months. Cyclovex also resubbed for 83 months. Thank you very much, Cyclovex. Wow. Fletcher Reed at 69 months. Private Paula, 79 months resub there, as well as giving the gift subs. Incandescent Goat at 44 months. The Stalking Head at 41. And Non Giles at 69 months as well. GW Nerd at 10 months. Fageva at 33. Urza at 25. And Zzzz, you know who you are, at 36 months. Wait, your Discord stuff is broken? ZZYXKI. If you can't get onto the sub-only Discord, send me a message. You can email me quill18@quill18.com or tweet me or something like that, and can take a look at it at this end here, just afterwards. Zixki. Okay, thank you very much, Zixki. Excellent. Awesome games done slow. That's what I do. That's right. Normally, I binge the hell out of awesome games done quick during the week, but I haven't had a chance to do any of that. But I will go back and catch the VODs because I love awesome games done quick. Great cause too, but great fun to watch. Okay. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves started here with Dwarf Fortress. Now, last week, the thing we were doing at the end of the week were 2 big projects right at the end of the week. 3 big projects, if you include me bitching about the migration stuff, which we have sorted out over here. By the end of last stream, I mean, first of all, we went over the 4-hour mark. We were 4 half-hours in, and I didn't take a break, so I was getting a little loopy. After the stream ended, and I was able to just stare and focus without having to do narration, I was able to, I just quickly found a couple of bits to clean up in the fort over here that I was missing that chat was trying to point out. And I was like, you know what? I just left it until afterwards because I'll just clean it up then. I also have gone and planned the rest of the road outside of our walls over here. It's not a real road. We're just using this to prevent trees from growing alongside our walls. So at the end of last stream, we were working on our big outer wall over here with our 7 defensive towers, which is great. We got a road leading out here. We have to do a little bit more tree chopping to keep the road going right to the edge of the map, and just making sure that wagons will always have a way to get in, because we got kind of screwed last time after we put up the walls. There was a little boulder that was in the way that was making it impossible to have a caravan path for the wagons. I also decided to put a little road over here. The fact that it's blinking means it's still under construction. It hasn't started yet. I haven't unpaused since I put it down. And I thought about tearing down our stables and things. I've talked about doing that before, and we might still. But for now, I was like, you know what? I'll put kind of an organic road that just curls around here to the entrance there. Prevent any trees from growing mostly in this area here, which could jam up a wagon. And I think it might look nice once it goes up there. So project number 1 was this. Project number 2 is bitching about migrants, which we're going to deal with a little bit later. It's going to be pretty easy. It was pointed out that there is a double wide view over here. I always forget about this double wide view, and that should give us enough width to be able to read the professions of the migrants. It's still going to be kind of weird because we have to go into Dwarf Therapist, assign a custom profession name, then use that as sort of a way to try to figure out who the new migrants are so we can put them in quarantine, but at least it'll work anyway. And then the final thing we're going to do today, or at the start of the stream here, is get our underground farming going on. I think it was 2 sessions ago that we actually discovered the first cavern level over here. I think it was right at the end of the before last stream. We discovered this underground cavern level, which appears to be completely flooded. We don't see a single dry spot, but it's not the end of the world, and make it really easy to set up some wells, I suppose. And also, I'm going to put the hand on in a second, I promise. So what we did here is we dug out a large area over here, and we used a screw pump to flood it with some water, and then drain it out afterwards. So this is going to be a big muddy area that can now be farmed up. And then I think right after the stream, I think I went and just set a few extra areas to be dug out here that we can use to set up some seed stockpiles and things. Potentially a few workshops. We're trying to figure out where our farmers are going to be set up and that sort of thing. How often do you update the CSV for automatically renaming dwarves? I think I set it up. I reset it at the end of the last stream as well for new for new subscriber names to show up in there. So I think I got it the last stream. I've done it a couple times anyway throughout this series here. Anyway, with that, I think we're about ready to start. So those are the projects we're going to be starting with. That's going to finish. The farming's going to finish. Oh, the other thing, I don't know what detoxification is in the stream here, but I've got him in the army list over here. Detrox had requested a while ago to be one of our military dwarves, so detoxification is now one of our tunnel snakes, despite the fact that he is an excellent miner and excellent mason. There's actually was another tunnel snake in here that had good mining skills as well that was in here. I think we just picked him randomly, but he was actually quite good. Who is it? It's Neptune over here. Neptune, who has a level 15 in masonry, level 15 in stone detailing. Also, Neptune is... oh, I forgot it doesn't show up properly in here, but if we go into Dwarf Fortress, Neptune doesn't recover from injury very quickly or anything like that. And I'm like, this isn't really an ideal military dwarf. So I pulled Neptune out of the squad to put detoxification in, and Neptune is a great stone knocker anyway, so we're going to put you in there. I've adjusted a couple of labors here and there. Also, I did add a second life minder. I think that's what I did. So we've got 2 of these life minders so that we can set up some farming and things like that. And I think we might want a couple more woodwhackers as well, but we're going to wait before we get there. Any fun critters swimming in the cavern? I don't think so. Take a look over here and look at our others. I don't remember that. Apparently we have an ettin? Music's a bit loud. I will adjust that downwards. Apparently we have an ettin on the map? Is it possible that I unpaused for a second at the end of the stream? I might have done that to let construction finish real quick. It did happen near the end last time. Okay, what's an ettin? An ettin, well, let's take a look at the description of the ettin in Dwarf Fortress. An ettin, oh yeah, I remember, because we were reading some of the description over here, with the because of the twin necks and things. It was kind of a funny description. So Siba, oh yeah, I remember reading this and like, this kind of looks like an Italian name to me. Ciba Fecaccianina Illimicamela is an Italian ettin. With 2, it's a giant humanoid monster with 2 heads. I fought them in D&D tons of times, so they're giants, but not like mega huge giants. In D&D, they're what, like 10 feet tall or something like that, with 2 heads. And so they're pretty strong, but we have a relatively decently equipped military. It's not huge. Our military is not massive. We have 20 military dwarves, and one of the things that's unfortunate, detoxification, who just joined Tunnel Snakes, probably doesn't even have this military equipment currently. If we take a look at the equipment situation, actually, the tunnel snakes, yeah, the tunnel snakes basically have no armor whatsoever. The iron bows at least have their crossbows, which is good. Oh, that's right. We sealed things up at the end of last stream. Right. This ettin showed up, so we just closed the gate. There's a dead dwarf outside. Was it killed by the ettin? It's Lem Gardner that's out there. Yes. Lem Gardner was killed by the ettin. Yeah, so we sealed things up, so we should be safe from the ettin right now. We're clearly going to want to go and deal with them soon. Now, it's possible whenever we get our next merchant caravan, what is it, late summer. So there's going to be a dwarven caravan, theoretically, that should come in autumn, although they might complain that they can't reach the depot. So I don't know if they'll actually show up on the map or not, but they might take care of it. If nothing else, what we're just going to try to do is equip up our squads and go and clear this out. With a modicum of armor, we're going to be able to take the ettin. The ettins, I don't think, represent something incredibly dangerous, except for the fact that our dwarves are basically going to be out there with just their plain clothes and fists. So that's not going to work. We're going to be checking the whiskey and chocolate. I did just hear that coming in. So we had Coolman Nacho earlier, a few minutes ago. Sorry I missed that, Coolman. Who says, oh my god. Music choicing with Quill18. Also, your favorite type of cheese, and what is your favorite color? Favorite cheese is Klovborg, and my favorite color is pink and purple. Dwarves without booze is me without cheese, angry and throwing a tantrum. So first of all, my favorite color is bright black. My favorite type of cheese, that's an excellent question, because the problem is, Like, favorite type of cheese, does that sort of implies, like, if you could only eat one cheese for the rest of your life, what it would be? And that's such a hard question to answer. Because cheeses, just like I always say about whiskey, they're all good for very different things. That being said, for the holidays, I was gifted, because we decided for the holidays that the family here, we would just gift each other things you could eat or drink. So we had lots of meats, booze, and cheeses, many cheeses. And they got me this Gouda with black truffle in it. Blew my brain, and so right now that's the topmost cheese. And then Thack as well donated with a deep cut of channel lore to say, can you give the Ettin a love potion? So there's a while where we were doing Sunday Morning Heroes, a online D&D campaign that was being live streamed. And in it, my character did in fact give an Ettin a love potion. Unfortunately, only the one head that drank the potion fell in love with me. So one head of the Ettin was in love with me and the other one still wanted to kill me, which is very awkward. Favorite cheese is the first choice among cheese you will eat at a party. I guess that's fair. Well, yeah, I don't know. That's hard. Sunday Morning Heroes Blast from the Past. I know, right? Okay, so I think we're okay to unpause. Because, I mean, there might be another dwarven straggler outside the walls. Although, I think the Ettin was running around for a few minutes. I think anything that was outside the walls is now dead at this point. Now, that is going to interfere with our plans to develop things over here. I did make a big wood stockpile out here, because I've designated an area over here to have all the trees chopped down, with the intention that this is where we're going to be building my group quarantine. But obviously, that's going to wait until we've got our walls open again, as is some of our road construction. But we have plenty to do inside the base, so let's go ahead and unpause. We've got quite a few idlers right now, which isn't totally a surprise because we probably had a bunch of jobs for like hauling things outside, and all of a sudden we don't, and we're like, oh, but there we go. Dwarves are assigning themselves to various tasks. Excellent. I would very much like to, maybe by the end of this episode, have all these workshops moved into deeper and more properly into our base, and have this grand entrance hall cleared out, and maybe even start the extra digging in. I do have stone sense going on, so if you're hearing some thunder sounds in the background, that is because it is currently raining.
It's whiskey and chocolate.
More whiskey and chocolate. Who dat? Oh, hey, Banana Cabana. You need me to clarify on the bright black thing. Well, there's a bunch of different reasons. Part of it is because of, everyone who says, like, black's not a color, when you talk about colors. So part of it is me being a kind of a shit when people say what your favorite color is. I gotta reference black. But part of it is way back in my teen years when I ran a BBS, and you used ANSI 16 ANSI characters to run the effectively text BBS, and there were 16 colors available. The BBS software that I was running referred to the dark gray color as bright black, and it tickled my brain, and it stuck with me ever since. So yeah, so that's what I say. Or it's like Archer, right? Sterling Archer. He's got his turtlenecks in black and also slightly darker black. That sort of humor tickles me. So the Scaly Guild, which seems to be a very poorly named farming guild. If you were thinking of names to name your farmer guild, I gotta think that the Scaly Guild would be at the bottom of the list. But who knows? Anyway, our farmers here would like a guild hall. So let me make a note, because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna start designing the guild hall, and then I'll be like, wait, what guild was it again? Because as far as I know, unless the guild already exists, you can't reference the promises you make. So for new guild halls, you can't reference the promises you make. So if you forget which guild hall it was, it can be a little bit annoying. But I don't need my football manager right now. I need guild farmer. Okay. Now, what's great about guild halls is you can have people. It's a good way to share skill. You can also have people from outside of things. Did we have that last time? Because we have another guild hall, don't we? We have. We built a metalsmith's guild hall. There's not actually an established guild for it, but we do have a guild hall ready. For that, that's over here. This room here in the handle of our hammer is our metalsmith's guild hall. We've got our tavern, which is in the same place as our dining hall. And Outrageous Sanctum is our temple to no particular deity with no particular demands. But you can see here, this will list all the locations we currently have, but it doesn't it doesn't have the reference in here to the Farmer Guild that needs to be created. So if you forget, you'll just get anything cranky. Because anyone who's part of the Farmers Guild, right now, because I accepted the request, they just got a positive moodlet. But if I forget about it, I think we got a year. We got a long time to resolve it. But if we forget about it, then they're all going to get a negative mood from having their promise, the promise to build a guild hall, broken, which is very disappointing. Hey, Nacho! How much and what type of booths do you have in Dwarf Fortress? That's actually a good question. We should check our stocks. And how much and type of cheese you have in Dwarf Fortress. So I don't throw a massive Dwarf Fortress tantrum this stream. So drinks, we do have 901 drinks, which is in pretty good situation. And we have a large variety of it, because we were doing a lot of booze based on our surface plants over here, which is quite good. I think the more interesting question at this point might be the cheeses that we've got. Now, we don't produce our own cheese, we've only purchased some, but apparently we've got cheese from llamas, alpacas, horses, pigs, cows, reindeer, and yak. Are the guilds going to be located in associated caste floor? Absolutely. Which does lead to an interesting question with our farmers section over here, because this is so far the farmers floor. There's not a lot of room. Now, this level here is not where the water is, right? We are looking down into the water. This is all open space. The level below it, this is where all the water is. So we could build floors above the water here, but I think... Okay, I know the drop-off is inaccessible. I wonder if they're trying to drop things off here. Let me cancel this stockpile. Hold on. Are people in a burrow? People are in a burrow. Okay, let me turn off the burrow and also remove the stockpile over here. And hopefully that'll stop the spam. Pig cheese, donkey cheese, horse cheese, llama cheese. Cheese, all the things. So anyway, for our Farmers Guild, we could go deeper down. We could go up. Like, you know, because I'm giving all the guilds, like, they have their floor. So in this case, floor 95 is the Farmers Guild. But I'm also, you know, in a sense, giving them access to the floor above and below. Apparently there's a little more combat going on. No recent announcements. Giant alligators are fighting? What? Okay. Wait, do we have... Is this diplomat stuck inside of our base? He is. And these human swordsmen. So we had a human trading caravan presumably come to our fortress not long before the ettin. I think their wagon's gone, but the diplomats are still here locked in the base. I assume at some point they're going to get cranky about that. On the other hand, if we let them out... Well, if we let them out, they might actually fight the ettin for us. Or they might die. Thing is, if I open the door, the ettin's going to want to come in as well. Let's see what we can do about our military setup. Anyway, so here I could go deeper, I could go above. I could go deep enough that, like, we've got a full floor, but I kind of like the idea that maybe the farmers are living in this sort of column right here in the cavern. It's not going to give them a huge amount of space to work with, but it's kind of interesting. So if we go one level up to here, how about we build a guild hall here? We can also fit in some bedrooms and stuff as well on this floor. Caravan guards are typically really good. Probably they'll kill the ettin because I don't think the ettin's terribly dangerous. Maybe, you know what? And we do have our archers are at least all equipped with crossbows, our marked dwarves, and maybe with them as the surface as well, maybe it's going to be okay. The problem is, I don't know if we open the gate right now. I don't know for sure that the humans will be immediately leaving the fort. I could open the gates, and the humans are just going to be hanging out in our tavern, while the dwarves, other places in our base, get slaughtered by the ettin. So, I don't know. Yeah, make glass windows overlooking the caverns. I do really like that idea. I don't think we have sand here. I think that's one of the issues we have. It's one of the few things we don't have access to is sand. I think we have clay. I guess one way to check it is what I could do is I could go down a few levels over here, start a zone. Oh, that's the maximum zone size. That's too bad. Oh, no, we do have some sand. Because when you're drawing out your zone, it'll tell you how much stuff it has access to. So there are, and you can do a multi-level zone. So there are 20 sand tiles over here. What about actually in my base proper? I wonder if any of these, because I didn't think so. Yeah, we don't have any sand here, but there's clearly some sandy tiles somewhere over here, which means we can do a glass industry. The ideal would be if we could, maybe we can build a little hut where the sand is, and then have a stair going down into the ground, so that way the dwarves can access the sandy area without getting. Oh, here's black sand right over here, so that the dwarves can access the sand without going outside, which. I'm wondering if we can do something like that, right? If I just dig out this, hopefully this is a sandy area over here. And then we just connect you up to one of these staircases. Bright black sand. Yes. Anyway, so this level over here, what I think I'm going to do is carve out this area to build the guild hall. And then the plan's going to be... over here. You know, I'm going to shorten this so I can have a hallway going here. Bedrooms for our farming path.
Chocolate!
Chocolate. Hold on. Oh, Helco! Hey, Helco. Hold on a sec. We were just talking about you the other day. Something about chocolate. Just do a little bit. Drawing here. Slightly wider. Hallway area over here. Maybe have little statues or something. It's not going to be for a bedroom, but it could still do something like that. Well, we don't have that many actually, we only have 2 farming dwarves right now. But we might end up with more. So we'll ask for something like this to be dug out. What is that with Helco? Helco says, remember not to accept any rings from strangers. Well, luckily we're not hobbits, so it should be okay. Also, we found the Arkenstone. I think we might have to dig more deeply and greedily for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the weather sounds are a little loud. Okay, I was wondering about that. Yeah, that's, you know what, let me bring sound sense down to like 50%. Because that was probably a little much, wasn't it? Okay, so this will be the guild hall for the farmers. For the Scaly Guild. What the fuck? That's a stupid name. And then we got some bedrooms for the farmers so they can live close to where they work. Then we've got themselves like a stockpile and maybe even some little workshop space or something like that. Mostly for the farmer's workshop. I guess maybe like milling and pressing as well would be part of these guys, I think. Anyway, we'll go ahead and unpause. What if the founder's surname was Scaly? I guess that might make sense. John Scaly. Of course, John Scaly the dwarf. How could I forget about John Scaly? Indeed. And let's run to be a stray dog. Oh, I hit that caps lock. Okay, it doesn't look... I don't think we're getting the inaccessible warnings again. The skink is fighting the ettin. That's not going to end well for the skink. Quern or actually mill? Probably a quern. Although I am wondering about doing pump stack things, in which case we'd have... Now, we don't have a river or anything on this map, right? No. God, this fortress doesn't look great when it's finished. Whenever we can go outside again. So we'll really have to use manual power, so we have to use a quern. Millstones and querns, I believe, do exactly the same thing, just one is run manually by a dwarf and is therefore slower, and the other one is run by power, which you can get from a water wheel or a windmill. So here we'll have to use windmills. Mechanical things sound fun. Farmers and ranch is different in this game. Not, we should give the Scaly Guild a room to farm gators or lizards. Now, okay, full screen lurking. So in this game, there are different tasks for someone who grows, like, who plants in a farm plot versus who does butchering or animal training. These are all individual mini skills. Now, you could have the same dwarves assigned to both. In our particular fortress, we are using a clear caste distinction, which keeps the plant tenders separate from the flesh renders. So the dwarves who deal with planty stuff and the dwarves who deal with animal stuff are in separate castes and aren't supposed to intermingle. Although I think I'm going to do a few more cross-training areas and things like that. Last time we talked about the idea of a build-a-bolt workshop, which is still absolutely going to be a thing that happens. And there might be a few more things like that, because I think it's kind of funny, you know? Maybe people could even apply to changed castes. We got some more whiskey and chocolate just came in. It's Aku! Hey, Aku! Plenty of names for farmers worse than Scaly. The Black Thumbs, the Wilted Plants, drier than dirt. All right, fair enough. There could be things that are actively bad. I believe I have Bone Carver set to the flesh renders as well, yeah. So if we look over here, the flesh renders, by default, they have access to animal care, animal training, hunting, trapping, small animal dissection, gelding, as well as butchery, tanning, leatherworking, and bone carving. Although, I had considered, when I was planning out my cast before I ever started this playthrough, I had considered making the bone carver task part of the same cast as doctors. I was going to have a cast that's just sort of doctors, and they'd be bone saws. And then that would kind of make sense. I have forgotten, that's the wrong hat. We're not playing as Russia today. Hold on.
I can't do it. I just can't.
This is the correct hat. So really, cast you comply, change yours. I don't know. We haven't really done the cast changes yet, other than people being able to move to the soldiers from a cast, and then from a soldier back to a civilian cast. I don't know. Maybe after a stint in the military, maybe that's a path to like change to a different cast afterwards. I'm not sure. Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer. Exactly. Interesting that the mining hasn't started over here, but they might be busy doing some mining down here. We're reconstructing some walls and things. Actually, now that this wall is up, what I can do is build, construct a wall. No, I'm going to turn off the global planning modes and things right now. So we're going to put a little corner wall here. I mean, I guess the diorite is close. I do prefer to use blocks, though, because it's overall more efficient. There's no search for this, is there? Cobaltite, diorite blocks. Let's do that. So once this wall segment goes up, this whole area down here, like, we actually don't have access to the caverns. It's completely walled off. Now, clowns from the circus can smash walls, but I don't think anything else does. I don't, like, Forgotten Beasts and stuff like that can smash down doors, but I don't think other than the clowns, I don't think anything breaks walls. I'm not sure. No, the burrow, we had them active for a little while, but it has been disabled now. So dwarves should be able to move around freely, with the exception that they cannot get outside the fortress. What are you trying to do? Oh, you're constructing a building. What building? Oh, you're working on roads. That makes sense. These roads over here. Ugh, I'll be happy when the blinking stops. I've not tried fishing in Cavern Lake. That is something we could do, except that right now the caverns are completely blocked off. And actually, I don't think I even have fishing enabled, because I didn't want the dwarves fishing in the ponds up top or anything like that. We might... Okay. Show... That's interesting. Okay, so the caravan does show up, and I was going to say, I think they show up and linger on the edge of the map, giving you time to make your depot accessible, and or to build it if you didn't have one already. Oh, I need some more slabs. Hold on. Create rock slab. Let's ask for 30 of them. So there's going to be tons kicking around, because we had some dwarves die. And some of them might be inaccessible, so we have to engrave some slabs to their names. And I'd queued a bunch up, but I think I queued up more than we had slabs, so some of them got canceled, so let's come back over there. So yeah, they'll linger. It really does annoy me, though, that the wagons get immediately bypassed, don't show up, even if the depot becomes accessible to a wagon. But anyway, what this means is we've got a dwarven caravan over here on the side of the map that is almost certainly going to be engaging the ettin. So I think now's the time we have to pull the lever right over here. So this lever here, this is our outer gate lever. We're going to go and pull that, and we're going to be ready to engage the ettin, which might just get slaughtered by the dwarven caravan guards. Pull the lever, Gronk! Exactly. So squad A and B, keeping in mind the tunnel snakes have no equipment whatsoever and are probably doomed to die. I'm going to tell them all to move out right here for now. And at some point the bridge will go down, but I'm going to try to group them up.
I just can't.
Our archers are going to be okay anyway. They're in pretty good shape. There we go. The bridge has gone down. Now, where is that ettin? Is he even still around? Yes, he's still around. So we're going to zoom over here. So he's here, and it would not surprise me if he was hunting the caravan guards. What I'll do, actually, is I'm going to follow him. So he's moving across the map. He's going to move uphill to our level. Oh, he's going straight for our front door. So I'm going to activate my 2 squads and tell them to go and engage. So we have a squad of effectively, like, Greco-Roman wrestlers, right? They're basically naked. I mean, okay, they're wearing normal clothes, but not armor. They're basically naked and unarmed, so they are just going to try to wrestle this ettin, which is going to be a terrible idea. Our archers, though, should be able to plunk him a few times. Hopefully this isn't just the end of the fort. Hey, Brett! Thanks. Naked and afraid. That's what we should name the tunnel snakes. The reason they were called the tunnel snakes is because the idea when we were digging down to breach the cavern is we wanted to make sure to have a squad ready to garrison the caverns. First cavern level is completely flooded. We're just sealing it in. So we don't need a garrison for that. When we get to cavern level 2, wherever that is, because there's always, I think there's guaranteed to be 3 cavern levels, unless you've got a really weird embark. When you get to level 2, that's where they'll be positioned. Unless that's flooded too, I'm not sure. You have a backup for the stream if it ends? We'll see. We're gonna be fine. All right, so we're gonna unpause here. You can see our dwarves moving out, and you can see some bolts starting to be fired. Also, there's a rat woman somewhere? Oh, rat woman was fighting the ettin. Let's actually take a quick look at the ettin itself and see if it suffered any wounds with its various shenanigans. And the answer is no. Her right upper arm is dented. Now, that might have been from previous combat, or it might have been one of these bolts, I'm not sure. Now, we can step 1 notch at a time here. Zoom into the combat. So you can see another bolt going by. Nope, there's nothing in the combat logs. It might have been a complete miss. Just gonna step forward. Okay, we've got some melee going on here. Who's this? This is Voodoo Lilium, whose neck is already severely injured. Oh, wow. That's... yeah. So Voodoo Lilium basically just walks up to the ettin and gets punched in the throat. And the throat exploded. Yeah, that might be an archer. And now here's the problem. Your dwarven archers love to freaking run up and melee things, which is one of the reasons we are setting up, otherwise, our ranged protocol. I guess, you know what? I could move... oh, no, we don't have the fortifications carved yet. As I say, I could move the archers back in here, close the inner gates. Yeah, just walk it off. All right. Someone is panicking. Oh, the ettin is now panicking and is very injured. Okay, I didn't go frame by frame. Apparently I should have, because shit happened fast over here. If we go back... okay, so right here in the log, this is when Voodoo Lilium's was punched in the neck. After that, other soldiers engaged, missed the ettin. Ettin grabs the shoulder, the soldier... oh, words are hard. By the teeth. With her arm. Not with her hand, with her arm. So she reached her arm into the dwarf's mouth and somehow hooked a tooth. I don't know how these work, but anyway. But there's a lot of grab, release, no real injuries over here that I can see at a glance. Here's one. The ettin bends the soldier's right lower arm, and the right elbow collapses. A ligament in the elbow has been torn and a tendon has been torn. That sounds like it's going to be a lot of rehab right there. Oof, that is rough. Here's another soldier getting their foot bent. Very terrible. But if we go down... so more injuries over here. The ettin did fall over here. Oh, the bismuth bolt strikes the ettin in the left upper leg, fracturing the bone. So that was probably the thing that really made the difference over here. This bolt knocking the ettin to the ground. At which point, the soldiers are piling on, punching it, right? We've got no weapons. We've got no melee weapons. Well, here, the irony is our archers do have melee weapons because they can hammer with their crossbows. But so we're just gonna dogpile the ettin and just start punching it, right? Bites. I mean, that's very viable. I've been running a personal fort, and in that one, all my dwarves are equipped with absolute masterwork, beautiful steel armor, full sets of steel armor, amazing steel battle axes. I read the battle logs, and they still like to bite a lot. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a skill thing or if I don't know if it's random selection in combat. I have no idea. Okay, right hand, but that's not an injury over here. See, the lines in red are when we suffer an attack. And a bunch of this is just the ettin grabbing, but then not really doing much. And then in blue is us doing an attack, which includes hacking the ettin with the copper battle axe, tearing the fat. Okay, twisting the elbow, good. Grip, punches the ettin in the right foot, bruising the muscle, excellent. Punch. Flying steel bolt strikes the ettin in the lower leg, fracturing the bone. Excellent. Let's go all the way down. And yeah, the ettin's starting to get sick, vomiting, passing out. It looks like this may have been, well, it's not dead yet, but this might be one of the most important blows. Well, knocking it down, breaking its leg is going to be huge, but this steel bolt striking the ettin in the lower body, tearing the muscle, and fracturing the spine, this ettin's not doing well. It's just sitting on the ground, like, retching. We'll have gotten that one kill, though. Okay, the ettin has died, so we don't actually know what the fatal blow was. The final blow was some soldier punching the ettin, bruising the muscle. But most likely the actual cause of death was loss of blood. Now, we could figure it out by, who did that. It looks like Nobby got the final hit on the ettin. But it's hard to say who got the actual kill, right? This is strike. Metting over here. Well, this might have been, honestly, I kind of want to give credit to Retung Medic here for maybe the actual kill shot. First of all, these steel bolts just hit over and over again. Fracturing the skull, fracturing the leg, the arm, bruising the liver. Although none of these are the spine shots either. It really was a group effort. It was a group effort. In the year 257, in the 12th of Limestone of 257, my dwarves working collectively together did slaughter the ettin. Voodoo Lilium died in all that. Otherwise, seems to have gone okay. Seemed to have gone really good. Go team. Considering that our dwarves is going out there mostly naked. It's a good thing they had archer support. It's a really good thing. And I should probably go and give our, really get our barracks organized for some training. Now, we do have a hospital over here. And does it have everything in it? It doesn't have soap, which isn't good because we could have a dwarf die of infection. So we'd really like to get some soap production up and running fairly soon. But otherwise, we do have a fairly well-equipped hospital, and we have a couple of half-decent medical dwarves. Okay. So, what are we going to do with our corpses? We did start down here. Yeah, right over here. Oh, this is where our slabs are going to be as well. So we did have a few deaths. The ettin was responsible for killing a few of our dwarves. Over here is going to be our catacombs. So, we have our life miner floor over here, the dining hall, bedrooms and things, and then below that is where our dwarves will rest eternally in peace. So we're gonna get a door here. I don't currently have a door. I guess I'll turn on planning mode for this. Whenever we have a door, please install it right here, because that feels like an appropriate thing. And do we have coffins? We do have some coffins. I think I'd like to make rows of coffins, then rows of slabs. Right, this includes an artifact coffin. So we have an artifact, Mog's Humusho. I want to save that for something, though. I mean, our most important coffin, in a sense, is the one here in our museum, the resting place of Erika Hoff, the first dwarf to die in the fortress, and who, at least in stories we're going to tell, bravely held off a were-creature while the rest of our dwarves could get to safety. Mostly she just happened to be out picking berries, and the were-eloquent for her first, but, we're going to give her credit. Put it in the center spot in front of the door. Like the coffin here? I mean, I can't have a hallway. Well, we'll figure something out. What I'm going to start with now, though, is I'm just going to get our non-artifact coffins installed here. Oops. Sorry, that was the artifact. Cancel that. It's made out of wood, too, which is really weird. Gabbro coffin. Okay. And then, actually, if we have any slabs that have been engraved, we're going to start another row here. Or we could do a left and right divide. No, I don't know. Do this, expand. So, yes. Where it says Diorite Memorial to someone. In big in here, we can see. Cariel. Now, some of these guys might, in fact, be buriable. There were some bodies that were stuck outside because our gate was closed. Could you put the artifact opposite? Oh, yeah, I guess we could put it here if we're not going any further. That's true. I was thinking this was going to keep chaining, but we could put it in there. I want to... I could install it now and just prevent burial there, because I want to make sure whoever gets buried in the artifact coffin is, like, special. We might save it until we get a noble and use it to help make their tomb. Anyway, some of these guys might get buried at this point in a coffin, so they'll have both a slab and a coffin, but that's just going to have to be the way it's going to have to be. Where is the slab in here, just to minimize some of the clicking down here? Because you can use Alt-S, but if you find it, then it's a little bit better. You have to hit X to get the list. So, Toad John here was actually a were creature. Actually, so was Semmel. But we're going to have to memorialize them anyway, just to prevent them from haunting us. Lazurs. Akrins. Fath, who never got renamed. Might have been an early migrant death? Might have been a visitor? Anyway, we'll slab them anyway. I mean, it's not like I can unmemorialize a slab. So, we may as well install them, even if it might be unnecessary, because... I mean, what I suppose I could do... I don't know if you could sell the slab. I could, like, use the Dwarven Atom Smasher to get rid of it if it wasn't necessary, but what the hell, we may as well install it. There you go, Rat Lord. Okay, and I think we've got a few more to carve. Do we have an automated job over here to make coffins? We do. It's currently, oops, suspended. They'll probably unsuspend in a second here. But I'm actually going to ask for bulk rock coffins. I'm going to ask for like 20 of them to be made so we can just install a bunch ahead of time a little bit faster. Okay. Dwarves don't pack a backspace chisel to remove the engravings. Right.
No, it won't work.
Vortian, who was a baby, is now a child. Okay. How old are they when they make that change? A year or two? Should list his age somewhere in this page. Someone's gonna see it. 1 year old. Okay, so they're a baby until 1, and then they're a child until they're 12. I don't know if children can do some like hauling or something. I don't think they work, but they can get a strange mood. Oh, just noticed the green screen is all of a sudden visible. Why the hell is that? It wasn't visible earlier.
Got an idea. Best get the dogs out and assign it to him in case he goes mad.
Something changed with the lighting? The start of the stream, none of this was there. Does look like grass. What the hell? Hang on. Well, yeah, I can, I can forbid the coffin. Well, you don't even have to forbid the coffin. Coffins can't be used for burial unless you flag them. Yes, although with DF hack, I think it's been set to allow that as a default. Is there a strange mood going on? Okay. Make this a touch darker. Touch darker again. And then bump this up. There we go. And new lighting setup today. Okay, so we got a strange mood. Adders Jr. rides again, has withdrawn from society with a strange mood. Well, let's go and follow you. And see where you might lead us. What are you going to claim, Adders? Oh, we're having our mountain home meeting with our liaison. New events added to the world screen. We'll take a look at that in a second. Okay, what do we have for requests? I definitely want to make sure we keep getting some leather. Cloth. That's going to be good. We don't need crafts, wood, bars. I mean, we could, but I'm not going to ask for that because we probably don't have the finances for it. We don't need gems or blocks. I'm going to ask for a bunch more of these seeds. In fact, I'll do it high priority. I don't need to ask for the anvils because we have access to iron and even steel, so we can make our own weapons, training weapons, ammo, trap components. You know what? I wouldn't mind buying a pick, maybe. I'm not going to buy any armor. We can produce our own picks, but it might still be convenient. Pets. Now, we could ask for some extra animals of a type, but we have breeding pairs for everything I think we care about. We do have to get our freaking turkeys breeding. Put in a little bit of request for some booze and a little bit of cheese as well. Very importantly, we're going to make a very high priority request for some gypsum plaster. Because unless we specifically have access to chalk, we can't make our own. So it's very important to have some of that. I don't need to ask for any particular foods or anything like that. We can't ask for soap. Soap they will not bring, but we can bring lye, which we can make ourselves. We can make lye. We can make potash for our glass industry. They're kind of a pain in the ass to make. I'll put in tell you what, I'll put in a request for all of these, and we'll try to remember to buy some if they're there. It's easy to make the request, and then I forget to buy it later on. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Could ask for paper sheets and things, but I don't think we need to do that. Okay. Yeah, but I do want to start the soap industry, which the flesh renders are going to be responsible for, I think. Okay, Adders has claimed a crafts dwarf workshop, which somewhat to be expected. They are one of our stone knockers over here, and so they were either going to grab the mason's workshop or the crafts dwarf workshop. So we're going to get ourselves a rock craft. Okay, import agreement, yada yada yada. Finish there. Okay, this is what they'll pay us for, but of course we're going to send them goblets. Actually, they are somewhat demanding goblets, which is going to be okay. Adders, let's keep following you, please. Where are you off to? What are you gonna pick up? Some sort of rock. Actually, no. This is our refuse stockpile. We dug this out last stream, partially so that we could get more stone, but also this lets you do a refuse stockpile indoors because we don't always want to, like, there's limited room up top, especially since we've sealed everything in, and it's hard to reach. So a refuse pile on the surface can become a little bit annoying. But so this is our refuse pile here. Some of this stuff might occasionally rot and generate miasma, which is why I've got a series of doors over here. Dwarves that do go and dump things in the refuse pile will get some bad thoughts and miasma, but at least it won't affect absolutely everyone. So what did you pick up? I guess I'd have to check your inventory to see what you're carrying, right? Yak calf bone. Interesting. Now, certainly they're going to pick up at least one rock. Where are they going now?
No. I said no. Sorry, sir.
He's going to the entrance hall. Oh, he's picked up some bars of some kind. All right, we'll check in with you a little bit later on. So there's a little bit of suspension of stuff because things are you know, there's objects in the way. So what'll happen here is this is usually whatever item is in the way, some other dwarf has flagged it that they're going to go and pick it up and move it somewhere. So the dwarf who's coming by to build the building can't touch the object because it's already been reserved by someone, and that's okay. We've got we can unsuspend things later on after some things get shaken up. Was it wood that he picked up? I thought it looked like bars. Okay, well, he's begun the mysterious construction, so let's see what he's collected over here. He's got the yak bone, iron bars, and cobaltite blocks. Cobaltite's blue. Could be a very pretty artifact. Do items ever decompose to the point that despair of left use file eventually fill up? Things do rot and decay. I don't know if everything does and at what rate. You can, in DF hack, you can also turn on some explicit deterioration for things, which helps things get cleaned up eventually through frame rate loss and things, which is quite nice. How's everything else going on here? Construction inactive. We have farmers. How come no one's come to set up these farms? At that minute. What's going on here? So if we take a look at our plant tenders, Solid Angle and Makey are both set to farm. Did I not pause the game? We're still getting sound effects in the background. No, it's paused. Okay. They're both set to farm, but they're set to do other things as well. What are they currently doing? Planting cabbage seeds on the surface. My cabbages! So that's not a bad thing, although I would really like to get those other things done. Now, the plant tenders are also responsible not only for planting the plants, but then for processing them. Weaving, clothes making, which I consider to be part of the plant job because we're mostly going to be making things out of pigtail. Technically, silk would fall maybe under the flesh tender. Screw it. We're just going to pretend that working with plant fibers and fibers of any kind is kind of their jam. Milling and pressing, plant gathering is also turned on for these guys. I mean, they're not doing anything over here. Right now, they basically are just planting. And for whatever reason, just this moment, they are busy planting cabbages in this farm up here, which is fine. I guess they're busy. They're probably okay. I will want a few more plant tenders, but maybe we don't need them yet. They'll just unpause for now. Planting does take a lot of time.
No.
Oh, there we go. Dwarves are being put to rest.
No.
Sometimes what can happen is dwarves will take an object that's blocking one construction site and just move it on top of another one. So you can get a lot of really annoying job cancellation changes. I'm not going to bother doing unsuspends right now. One thing I might do is, like this road over here, I might decide to trash it and replace it with another type of block, just so that everything matches. We'll see. Oh, I got a migrant wave. Fuck, did I? Okay, hang on. Adders Jr. Rides Again has created Egulstalud Thukanlanlar, a yak bone grate. She claims it as a family heirloom. Well, let's take a look at this thing. So, Egulstalid Thukanlanlar, or known as Controlled Wash the Amber Bird. This is a yak bone grate. All craft worship is of the highest quality, is encircled with bands of yak bone. Oh, well, that's interesting. I think this was a bone crafting mood. Well, it must have been. It was a bone crafting strange mood, not a stone crafting one. Encircled with bands of yak bone, this object menaces with spikes of iron. On the item is an image of dwarves in cobaltite. The dwarves are traveling. The artwork relates to the foundation of raised blockades. That's us. That's our fortress. By the wire speakers of the Letter of Notching. Letter of Notching is our civilization. Wire speakers is our government. In the early spring of 254. It's worth 15,000 dwarf bucks. Not, terribly huge, but it's kind of interesting that it's happened. Did I get a migrant wave in there? Some migrants arrived. Well, shit. They're probably already... Yeah, they're here. They're already in. Hopefully everything's okay. Got lost in the shuffle there. How many migrants did we get? I'll read to get the latest people. Sort by migration wave. So 7 adults and potentially some babies in there. Well, I will officially label them. We gotta make a couple of changes. I will officially label them to peasants. Does anyone have anything that stands out over there? Okay, first of all, let me go back and pause the game. 10 wood crafting on you and whose army. I mean, it's not bad. I don't know if it's critical to anything. The 10 leather workers actually very nice. I think Esoteric's gonna join the flesh renderers right away, so we have a decent leather worker. Flesh renders done, and we'll leave them all on. Well, maybe I'll turn off your medical skills. Hold on. Oh, that's ranger stuff. I guess the ranger stuff's gonna be on. Oh yeah, medical skills, life minder. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna turn off the rangering anyway for you. Decent brewer. I think we'll leave these guys as peasants for now and not make any other changes. Now, the other thing I want to check is our stone knocker, Adders Jr. Rides Again, is now a level 20 bone carver. Now, she never really developed her stone knocker skills too much. She was only recently added to the stone knockers. I think this artifact qualifies her for a move into the flesh tenders. Not that bone carving is particularly critical, but obviously, that's going to be the way it goes. So we're going to move you over to the flesh renders, because that's where you clearly belong. That's where your calling is. And that's going to be an example of how dwarves can make a change from one category to the other. I'm going to disable your ranger. Mostly there's the hunting that they're doing over here, and we'll just leave a couple with the skill. It is nice to have a little bit of hunting. Keeps those damn buzzards under control. And what we could do, if we do have any bone carving to do, is I'm just going to do this. So the only person who can do bone carving is going to be Adders Jr. because they'll be making... Mostly it's going to be bone bolts. Mostly it's going to be bone bolts. I mean, yeah, maybe we can make bone mugs. I'm actually not sure about that. So I think all the bone carving that can happen... I think the only thing you do with bone is at the Craftsdwarf Workshop, you can do things in the bone category. Bone! So bolts, you can decorate things with bone. You can make crafts. You can't make mugs. They're not in the list. So if you do crafts will normally include toys, instruments, mugs, and jewelry stuff, but I don't think it'll make mugs because it's not in the list of things that you can do individually over here. But very valuably is you can make bone bolts, and I think that's definitely going to be one of the things we will end up doing. I'm not going to worry about it quite now because we're not actually getting set up on that level. Anything crazy? Masterpiece, suspension. Yeah, so we're getting a bunch of spam in there that's just filling things up, but that should be okay. Let's take a look at our plant tenders over here. Construct building. Oh, is that... Are you going to go construct the farming plot? Yeah, I think so. I think our cabbages have been planted, so now we're going to go down and do that. Lovely.
I can't do it.
Now, we've gone down a few levels beyond Cavern 1 here. What I want to do at some point in here, and actually maybe just below Cavern 1. Well, we've already got the stairs done. Because I have learned that it is kind of important to have airlocks between your cavern levels. So before we dig any further, the plan, I think, is going to be to do a bit of a jog this way, then downstairs, upstairs, come back over here. These are only going to be downstairs. Actually, let me carve out kind of one of those. And then once again say downstairs this way. So if we hit a deeper cavern level, things coming up here, what we can do is we can have drawbridges here or here to seal off like and segment our base. Technically these stairs here are up downstairs, and I think that would mean there'd be an open air. Like these are just downstairs on the level below, so no one can climb directly up this way. Flying things theoretically could, but this can be carved. I can remove these stairs and just construct upstairs over here, and I think that would remove the problem if we thought it would be an issue, which I'm not sure it will be, but for added safety later on we can do that. It will add extra movement to our dwarves because our dwarves trying to go deep can go. It will have to walk this way, then walk back to continue downwards. I could just move to the side and then start a new like set of stairs going down, but I like the one central staircase because this staircase is literally in the middle of our map, I think, and that makes it quite convenient. I might be wrong about that, but I think that's what we did. Yeah, because this area here is the limits of our building.
Sorry, I can't do it.
And that staircase is literally right in the middle, so that's good. And yeah, we'll probably have to replace the up-down stairway with something that doesn't allow flyers to get through, but we'll deal with that later. The important thing now is to make sure you got the sideways jog.
No.
Which you can add after the fact, but it's more annoying if you do it that way. So, we're chopping these trees over here. I wanted to chop these trees down because I want to set up the migrant quarantine area, which didn't help with the last migrant wave. Hopefully it's not too bad. Why not going down 2 Z levels before going back to the main stairs? That would prevent that would prevent flyers from getting through without us having to do anything fancy. That's true. You know, sure. You know what? Let's do it. So this level is going to stay the same, and instead on the level below, I'm going to do 1 step of up-down stairs. And then this level over here becomes just upstairs. Okay. And then to here. And then just downstairs in the cross. And then we go back to up downstairs, which I think I have loaded to a macro. Is it called down cross? Yeah. And it's lined up? Yeah. So I can just play this macro a few times so that we can start digging downwards again. And then I don't have to worry about replacing the staircase. It sort of wastes Z level. On the other hand, it gives us maybe more options for interesting pits and stuff like that. Did you ever get access to this hand hut? That's a great question. And the answer is yes. So this area over here, it's all inside and it is all black sand. That's great. So what we can do is we can define a zone over here. And this zone is a sand pit. That's all it's here for. So when we get a glass kiln set up, yeah, kiln, we can set up a job to collect sand. They'll come over here. It's not going to be very close to anything. It's kind of annoying that way. Actually, is this more sand? Oh, we have access to quite a bit of sand. All right. And then if we wanted to do clay things, I mean, we've got a huge amount of different clay areas. Oh, actually, apparently this is not valid clay for a clay pit. Sandy clay loam. Yeah, there's a whole range of like sand, clay, loam, and I think like tiles can exist in a variety of different places in there. And you need a certain percentage of a category to get there. Oh, I forgot we do have traders around. We should do that. Let's request that Monty Max. Monty Max is sort of the shame of our fortress because they were one of our first artifacts, and they made a wooden bow, not a crossbow, a wooden bow. So we've left Monty Max a peasant.
No.
Clay loam should be okay for pits, though. Last kiln sounds fun. You look through the walls of the kiln to see the contents. Alright, bring item to depot. So our broker is currently carrying an item over here, and then once they drop that off, they should look at their next task, which should be the trade, which is the case now. Oh, they're still unloading. Well, let's take a moment and see what the news of the world is. Now, if we were over our place, I think it would give us a bit of news about what's around. We can see a few invasions. I think in red, those are attacks. I don't think there's anything too dramatic happening right nearby. I believe this purple thing over here is a necromancer's tower. Dark Goblin Fortress with potentially some artifacts. It would be nice to start raiding this. And of course, much later on, we're going to have come down here. Because this symbol here, this is our old fortress. Rock Hermit. Where 42 sentient beings were killed with a sock. One day. One day. And actually, we've got enough people now. We've got the 86 dwarves. I could support more military squads. The big thing is that we don't have the equipment right now. So part of the question becomes, hey, okay, let me unsuspend this. And actually, all the steel stuff I really can just do through the manager, because there's not going to be any forges anywhere but this level. But in theory... Okay, it's suspending the bolt job even though it's at the top. Or because it's at the top, perhaps. Let me cancel these then. Maybe mixing orders and the workflow stuff really doesn't work very well. Or is it just because I don't have enough... No, it probably stopped because I had too many metal bolts, and then it stays at the top, which is no good. Okay. I will make a job in here, then, for the steel bolts. We'll make them in packs of 25 bolts, which is how much a standard quiver full is. We're going to set up a condition where we try to keep up to, let's say, 250 of these steel bolts. Because we're going to have a single archer squad, and this gives them enough to get a full refill each. But then we'll put a limiter, and we'll say, listen, only stock this. Now, I don't actually know how many bolts you get per run. So, like, I don't know what the ratio of steel bars to bolts is. I think you might get 5 per. You get 25 bolts per run, period. So, wait, 1 steel will make 25 bolts? Okay. I might still leave this limiter to 10 steel bars, just to make sure that we don't consume all of our steel bars for bolts. So I think I like this. If we've got 10 coal, and 10 steel bars, then you're allowed to make a run of bolts, as long as we also don't have more than 250 bolts. So we'll use the manager setup for that. And yeah, we'll try to avoid... There's... Because of what we're doing... Well, no.
No way.
I guess I could just not use workflow for anything. I guess I will just not use workflow for anything. In fact, maybe I should just turn workflow off. I don't like using the manager commands for the individual workshop orders, because it's a little bit more cumbersome. But I suppose it'll be okay.
Oh, no way.
At most 200... No, Shake. It's the condition for when the job gets run. So we want to run the job when there are at most 250 bolts. If there are more than 250 bolts, then the job, it'll return false, which means the job won't run.
No way.
25 bolts from one metal or wood, or 5 bolts from one bone. Oh, is that maybe why I got the numbers confused in my head? It's interesting you do get 25 bolts from wood, but so much fewer from bone. I guess there's just less usable bone in a chunk. I believe we're still waiting for someone to come and chop this tree over here. Oh no, there we go. We don't have like auto chop enabled or something, do we? We had turned it off. Okay, good, it's still off. Sometimes things get reset. I guess we just had a lot of tree chopping over here. Oh, let me get the wood stockpile back up over here. I removed it because I was worried about getting error messages. I want to set up a wood stockpile over here because I'm chopping so many trees and I don't want them to have to drag it all the way inside the base. This is just temporary. And then we're going to build the migrant base on the surface out of wood. I could dig into the ground and set them up a little thing, but I like the idea of little wooden huts over here. We could even have a public tavern way out over here. Although some of our dwarves would go to this tavern instead of the one inside the fortress, and I really wouldn't want them to do that, so. Merchants about... weren't they... Really? Oh, was the message them packing up to leave, not unpacking? Oh well. No big deal. Got some thirsty dwarves. We've got tons of drinks. 1,000 units of this. What's... Freaking giant buzzard! Even attacking one of our life minders? Grr. Why we need the hunting? Oh! The smoothing finished over here. Oh good, we should have patrols. Hold on. Let's get organized with our military dwarves over here. First of all, I'm going to build some archery targets. And yeah, they can just be made out of wood. That's fine. Okay. Now, right now, this area here is the barracks, but I don't want that to be the case. I will set up the archery targets for archers to practice, but that's going to be all. Up over here is going to be the actual barracks where our squad does non-archery training. So even our bolters will do training over here for some combat practice and things like that. I can't unsuspend you. There it is. Okay. Do I not have auto unsuspend running? Hold on. Let me check on that. Okay. Please to do that, because we'd finished the roof. Now we can construct this wall, and that's going to be okay. All right, so there's going to be a barracks here. I'm going to set up some bedrooms. Ish. Really, I mean, they just need bunks. I want our military squad to sleep in this room and everything. They will get, I guess they will get some negative thoughts, I think, from sleeping here as opposed to their own bedroom. But tough, deal with it. So our squad of archers has 10 dwarves. They don't all sleep at the same time, but I kind of feel like giving them each a bed. Let's see how that could work. Turn on planning mode here. So there would be 7 beds. We'd have 10. I mean, hot bunking can totally be a thing. Well, there's an item. There's a suspended thing on that tile. Okay, let me check on that. Okay, we'll do this. We'll have 5 beds so they can do a little bit of hot bunking sharing. Is there... Oh, there's an old bolt here that was forbidden. Actually, there's tons of bolts all over the place from hunting and some various combat. Let's, well, there's a couple ways we can do bulk unforbidding. We can go into our stocks, check ammunition, and unforbid all the ammunition. Now our dwarves will go and collect any ammunition. By default, bolts that are launched get marked as forbidden so that you don't have your haulers running into the middle of the battle to pick up arrows, which seems like a pretty bad idea. So we do that. We could also use DF hack to bulk unforbid some things as well, but... Bunch of forbidden armor. Oh, these are probably trade related. wait for the merchant caravan to go away, and then we'll see about unforbidding some of this stuff. Or some of it could be low quality, I don't know. Anyway, thank you for pointing that out. That's good. And we've unforbidden all the bolts, which means we're going to collect them and we'll be able to use them again, which is going to be nice. I am in the way. You can just build bedrooms for them in the barracks and auto-assign them? Maybe. Because what I was thinking is I was going to go to the barracks thing and flag this as a zone where they can sleep. If I don't have these as part of the barracks, but in fact make them bedrooms and assign them specifically to military dwarves, I guess that will mean they'll sleep in the area, which is kind of nice. Yeah, maybe? Now, how do we actually want to construct these bedrooms? Well, I guess the next one. Okay, let me just... I turn on the planning and the global planning just because I kind of want to be able to sketch things. Oh shit, I can't build walls on... I hate this. You can't build walls on top of constructed floors. So you gotta deconstruct the floors and then place the walls. I find it so frustrating. I think I can put doors. No. Oh wait, that's downstairs. Yeah, I can put doors on top of floors, but I can't put walls on top of floors. I mean, I suppose that's fine. The idea is to do that, and then have the next set of rooms would have to be kind of like this, which would totally work. Oh, the flashing. There, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we'd have 5 and then 5, and I could assign them to the dwarves that are part of the squad. It's not super convenient, but yes. Build rooms out of doors and forbid some of them. Unfortunately, doors have to be adjacent to a wall to do that. And then what I would do here is deconstruct. Oops. Hang on. Gotta fuck this up. I'm getting confused between like two negatives. Okay, remove that construction, then cancel remove in front of the bed, and then remove construction between the beds. There we go. Okay. Now, even if I don't flag these as individual rooms, it can still work. If I decide to just do the barracks as the sleeping space with the doors here, as long as I flag the doors as internal, they can be part of the barracks. So I'm going to deconstruct a bunch of floor. All of it's going to, none of it's going to collapse. It's still going to be attached to something. Then I'm going to buy and build walls in all these gaps, and then put doors over there. Alright, I think we'll go ahead and do that. God, that flashing is so annoying, isn't it? We have an armor stand over here, or weapon rack. So we're going to build a weapon rack up here instead. We might already have one, I'm not sure. Is it? Oh, R for weapon rack, that's right. Yeah, we did have some. Let's get, oh, we've got a masterwork weapon rack. Let's go and install that up here. Make it as pretty as possible. Done. And what we can do is we're going to be deconstructing the weapon rack over here, because this is no longer going to be a barrack space. The above floor is going to be, but they will have their little shooting area over here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and resume. Now we still need a second barracks. Oh, is there a shooting line? No. Okay. We still going to need a second barracks for our tunnel rats. Right now they'll probably share the Iron Bolts barracks, so they can still do some training. There's something panicking over here. What is this? It's a tame bunny. I'm gonna blame the buzzard. Hey, Cookie, I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah, in theory it is possible for enemies to jump from like a tree onto your wall. Oh, it looks like I need to get a couple more gaps there, 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 and there. It's nice that this is all coming together. More coffins. Yeah, oh, I think I've got to place some coffins. Thanks for the reminder, actually. Take a look at that in a second here. Oh, there's still another goddamn tree in the way here. I think that's still the tree that I keep wanting to get chopped down. Yeah, it's still designated to be chopped. I guess our woodcutters are just very busy. I should check to see if there's any caged animals or anything that needs to be pastured here. We do have a cavy pup and a bunny that have to be assigned to this area, which will keep them safe. They're pets, we can't butcher them. We do have some wheelbarrows. I mean, we only really need the wheelbarrows for stone stockpiles. I think that's all that really matters for. I don't know. I mean, wheelbarrows are efficient because things can carry more than one thing. Mostly I obsess about it for the stone because the stone's so heavy they move it slowly.
I won't do it.
Yeah, migrants don't bring caged animals, that's right. They do bring animals, some which are pets. That's right, not caged. I've seen dwarves hauling stone with their hands. Well, yeah. I mean, that can still happen because while I believe I have a bunch of wheelbarrows, and see, this is a stone stockpile here, 3 are assigned to them. I mean, it's possible that they don't exist. If we look at the stocks, will it tell us... Let me go to Enhanced View. I have 6 wheelbarrows. 3 of them are currently in use.
No.
I don't know if that counts...
I said no.
Like, I don't know if there's a good way for us to tell if there's, like, unassigned wheelbarrow. Oh, there's a wheelbarrow there that just had a rock delivered. And then this dwarf is hauling a stone for a job, which has to be done manually and not a wheelbarrow. But yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, let's go down and check our coffin situation over here. And what I do like the idea, which I'm going to use now. Well, actually, first, let me assign... Ooh, no. I don't want to be in planning mode for this. Build in... Turn off global planning mode, thank you. I want to keep assigning as many normal coffins as possible. Yeah, I should put that other coffin down. I'm just going to have to make sure nothing gets buried in it. That's why I was thinking of doing the normal coffins first. Because unless I watch it get installed and turn off the burial, because I have... DF Hack's currently running a thing to automatically flag coffins as being allowed for burial. I don't suppose... Unless any of these are empty. No, they're all occupied. Okay. Hey, thanks for the gift subs, Mischievous Art. Cheers. How do you deal with absorbed massive migrant? Well, right now, I mean, we're fine with more migrants. I mean, they're not really going to have too many places to sleep. But... Well, we do have a bunch of bedrooms. I don't think... Oh, right. This is our dormitory. I don't know if we ever made this into a dormitory, though. No, I think I would have flagged one of these beds. So I'm going to go and flag this. This is a giant dormitory. So at least our dwarves will have somewhere to sleep that's not on the ground. And mostly this is going to be for peasants because casted dwarves... which actually is something we can look at, are going to be assigned bedrooms. So our little stone knockers over here, we're doing all these bedrooms over here. We can flag these now as proper bedrooms. As soon as you make it into a bedroom, even if you don't assign it, a dwarf who doesn't have a bedroom will go and automatically claim it. So what I have to do is make sure to manually assign these to our stone knockers, because that's what's supposed to happen here. That's actually slightly incorrect. I've got to resize the room. Do this. Assign. I was going to say, I can see a stone knocker, so I guess I can just grab that one. This is going to be a little cumbersome. But this means that our stone knockers will have bedrooms close to where they work. Fireman, I'm helping. Oh, I'm helping got assigned twice. I was going to say, hold on. Something didn't feel right there. Quiet Tony. I'm helping Quiet Tony. Assign. Stone Knocker. Look, I'm helping Quiet Tony. They're not actually flagged a color to indicate that they have a bedroom assigned. Maybe it's because of the filtering? Maybe I have to unpause for a sec?
Oh, no
Doesn't
way.
sound right. Yeah, let's try assigning this one. Make bedroom. Assign. Filter for stone. Oh yeah, see the filter is there, but not on a search screen. Now the search screen admittedly is a DF hack thing, so you know. There's gonna be some funky interactions, I guess. So Pikmin, Mega Master. Next is gonna be Mr. Brightside. Plowin. Cirid. Popscockles. And our final stone knocker. Neptune. Now the annoying part will be remembering to change the bedrooms when we add more people to these roles. Although it's not necessarily the end of the world. It's convenient the more of them who have proper seats, but we'll see. Now the stone knockers, I would say, would be, you know, very invested in making sure their own bedrooms were smooth. So let's go ahead and get those smoothing. Anything exciting going on? Masterpieces, leather, cloak, and robe jobs are finishing up. That's nice. I mean, dwarves can wear these, but we can also make them part of uniforms too. I think most of the trees in the area where I'm building the migrant quarantine zone are done. So, let's get constructing here. And I'm going to build this out of wood, just because. Can you assign beds to the guild so only guild members can take them? I don't know if that would count as an individual bedroom or anything like that. I'm not sure. Death to all trees. Well, I mean, it's a waste of time to literally cut all the trees down. We're mostly doing it because we want space and some material, but yeah. So yeah, we're going to make a weird little wooden building here on our outskirts. Now, you can't construct too close to the outside. There's a limiting factor there. So I'm going to do this, and then 1, 2, 1, 2. Give us a little bit of extra gap after that. Oh, I have planning mode on. But not global selection. So I think it will use whatever's closest, which might be wood. I'd really... Hang on. I really wanted to manually pick wood here. And I was going to try to get everything matching. Sorry, I have to redraw this again. I made sure one mode was off, but not the other one. Build, construct wall. Planning mode off. Global settings is off. Good. Okay. One, two. What do we have a lot of? Pecan wood. That sounds nice. Let's do that. Pecan wood. And what I'll do here, actually. We are going to have enough to finish at least the walls. Okay. And pecan wood blocks. Excellent. Now, what we're going to do for the door, which can be kind of in the center, that's going to be fine. We're going to set up a drawbridge so we can seal them in. The idea is we're going to invite them into this quarantine, then we're going to seal them in through a full moon cycle. I don't know why there's not a search box for this. I want to find more pecan wood. which I know we've got. But I'll never see it. There it is. Okay. And then we're going to build some other stuff in here. What about building it near the wall tower so archers can shoot in case of attack? Well, the thing is, I want to set it as far away to the entrance as possible, just in case things are on the way and bad things happen or something really weird. Oh shit, bridge retracts. Thank you. Got so distracted by the wood thing. Raise that way. On wood logs. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a ramp onto a drawbridge onto an elevated balcony with fortifications that looks down on this area. So if a full moon cycle goes through and there's a were creature, what we can do, we'll have the option of sending our military or archer squad up onto the elevated area to be ready to shoot down on these guys. They'll kill balcony. Exactly. The balcony could also potentially be used as a way to dump food and water, food and booze into here, if we need to keep dwarves around. Thing is, the dwarves can handle a month being away from food and alcohol. They'll be a little cranky from lack of booze. They'll be fine food-wise. Dwarves actually last a pretty long time before actually starving to death. Oh, this area. Road. And for this, I do want the global planning on, because I just want them to pick blocks for me. There we are. Road right to the edge of the map. Guarantees that no trees will screw with caravan paths and things like that. Let's take a look at our farming down here. Yeah, great. These plots have been designated. I'm going to use the biggest one. Well, we do have actually a lot of food. I don't know if we need... Honestly, I'm going to do this medium-sized one as plump helmets, which can grow year-round. This big one here, we might change some stuff later, but it's going to be... We're going to do dimple cups when you can do dimple cups, otherwise we're going to do pigtails. So in spring, it's dimple cups, because you can't do pigtails. Summer's going to be pigtail, autumn is pigtail, winter is dimple cups, because we can't do pigtails. So we get a bit of a cloth industry going on. We don't have any dimple cup seeds right now, that's fine. This one over here, what I'll do is I'll do food, but we'll mix it up. We'll do cave wheat. I think quarry bushes are a type of food. Summer, more cave wheat. Autumn, cave wheat. And winter, we'll do a cycle of plump helmets, just to keep it going over here. Okay. Yeah, I think quarry bushes and rock nuts can get you oil, which is another way you can do a soap industry that doesn't revolve around tallow.
I can't do
What
it.
is this stone over here? Oh, that's diorite. Let's ask for some smoothing to be done here. It's gonna be a little awkward because of the shape. I don't know what happens if we smooth the floor in the farm. Does it get rid of the mud? I'm not gonna do it anyway. Because it's... Well, I mean, if it didn't get rid of the mud, then it actually would be convenient as like a way to ensure that things continue to be pretty, but I'm not going to bother with it. Okay, this door over here doesn't need to exist anymore. I can remove that. Yeah, the blinking is that I have a build order here for smoothing. There we go. That should get this area looking very pretty. Oh yeah, we still have to build that guild hall, so let's do that now. We're going to ask that a door be built here. Thank you. And this area over here is going to be a new zone for a guild hall. So we hit I for a zone. Now, normally for zones, you draw out a rectangle. You can hit E to toggle from rectangle to flow, which is good for these irregular shaped rooms. Then you hit enter and then you do the growing, expanding thing. So that'll be the zone. So a guild hall is a meeting area that then we assign a location. We can choose an existing one or add one, which we're going to add a craft guild hall. And from that, we're going to pick the farmers guild hall, which is way down here in the middle. Bam. And yet, there's no note in here that says this is the one you promised. It does show you that there's an active guild, although I don't think it'll tell you if there's an active guild hall, because you can just add more than one room. Pressing E is good for those irregular shaped rooms. Banana, get out! So we'll assign that. Now, right now, so now the location. Oh, Berry of Tundra, which is actually an excellent name for a farming guild. I can't rename the guild, which is the Scaly Guild, but I can rename the guild hall. But Berry of Tundras isn't terrible. I think I might rename it, though. Instead of tundras, it'll be of what? Of caves? Cave berries? Berries of brunch. Berries of buckling. Of burden. Of calling. Berries of booze. Of buzzards? Berries of doom! The berry of doom makes no sense. Maybe it should be the berries instead of the berry. The berries of doom. The Mary Berry Brothers? Mary Berry just makes me think of, you know, the one of the old judges on Bake Off. Mary Berry's Soggy Dwarf. Mary Berry's Soggy Bottom Dwarves. All right, the Berries of Doom is going to be our Farmers Guild Hall. So we agreed to build a guild hall. Currently, it's only a meeting place. Its total value is currently 150 dwarf bucks. We need 2,000 dwarf bucks worth of value for this to count as a proper guild hall. Now, one great way for us to increase the value is simply to smooth the fuck out of it. That's going to get us actually a fair amount of the way there. But it can also be improved to some furniture, which I like the idea. I'm going to give them, we're giving them a little container over here. Okay. Build H. Planning off. Let's give them a masterwork diorite coffer. That sounds like a good idea. I don't actually know if guild halls need to store things, but it seems like conceptually they should. Usually make my first guild halls with tables, coffers, a few statues, plus smoothing. Yeah, I like statues. And you can actually have the statues be of particular things if you manually organize your statue production. I'm gonna make, I'm in a little table area. Okay, currently don't have tables, so I'm gonna pop back into planning mode, and I'll check our table making queue here. I don't think I want a long table. What we could do is we could just have the idea. There we go. 3 little tables that some people can chill at. We could have a pair along the walls over here. So it might be more table driven than statue driven. We might add some statues if we need to add value, especially if if they get more members, they will ask for a more impressive guild hall, and then we might have to resort to engraving and lots of statues and stuff. So we might restructure it. The other thing too is we could just expand the guild hall. We could give them more than one room. Like it could be on another floor completely, because I think they add up everything. I'm not sure. Okay, we'll do that. We'll set up some chairs now. So I could do this. That's not bad. The other way you could arrange it, and then I get another shout out to Krug Smash. You know, to do something like this. I think I'll do is we'll go with something like that, and then oops, build chair. Well, something like this. There you go. Slightly interesting seating. Now, hopefully we get some decent value stuff over here. I have to make sure that... Let's check our construction orders. What I'm going to do for all these rock things, because we're only going to have masons... So some things we're still... Yeah, no, we're not going to use workflow. I'm officially going to stop using work, even though workflow is excellent. We're going to put in orders through here for rock tables. I might do them in chunks of 5 and keep up to 10 around. It's not so much that it'll cause us lag. And what's nice about that is then we have more choice when we're individually planning things. Okay, we'll construct 5 at a time. I'll add in rock chair. Throne, sorry, rock throne. As well. I might have canceled some other things, but we'll take a look at that in a second. I could set up rock statues. We might want to do our statues on something fancier. We could do like all glass statues all the time or something, which are very valuable since we do have access to sand. Anyway, we'll set up some conditions. So we're doing the rock thrones 5 at a time. We'll put in a thing where, like, most 10. So if we have more than 10, don't bother starting a job. I guess conceivably this could make us have as many as 14 chairs around. Maybe that's more. Maybe I'll set the limit at 5. So if this will be legal job if we only have 4. So we could have up to 9 at that point sitting around. I think that's going to be okay. I don't have to set a reagent limit because we should always have stone. And honestly, if we don't, then we'll get spammed with you don't have enough rocks messages. And I want to be able to respond to that. So that's an error message I'm actually okay with. We'll do the same thing over here. And we'll set the limit to 5. So there we go. So if we have more than 5 tables or thrones, it won't start a job. But otherwise, it'll start a job for 5, which means we could end up with as much as 9. But I think that'll be a good number to check, to play with. So we'll set those 2 up. I don't have to link these to a shop because these are the only mason shops I have. Like, they're all, the mason shops are clearly going to be on the stone floors, so they don't need to be linked to a particular shop. Okay, what construction? Huh? Okay, that's fine. High traffic areas sometimes cause harm. I think what I'll do is I'll do a mass unforbid in case anything else is blocking things. Or, okay, rather than mass unforbid, I'll use D for designate, B for set building item properties, C for reclaim, which is the way you clear the forbid tag. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, this whole area here, and 1 level above, actually a couple levels above, I'm going to hit enter. So if there's anything in our general construction area here that was forbidden, it is now unforbidden. I'm going to do the same thing over here. There. Rather than unforbid literally everything on the map, which is probably fine, we'll just cover this area here and make sure everything's okay. Hey, Derped. Thanks for coming by. Dun, 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 dun. You finished the nobles rooms. I don't think we started the nobles rooms, did we? Oh, were these going to be our guild halls so that we could allow outside visitors to come by? Or were these going to be temples to the various deities? I think I'd gone back and forth on the guild halls. I think we'd gone back and forth on whether the guild halls should be part of the floors or if they should be part of the outside area. Yeah, I guess they were going to be guild halls. Shoot. For visitors. I mean, we can always change our mind. We can always change where our guild halls are. I guess right now the Barriers of Dooms allow members, including outsiders, I think, to visit. The thing is, these rooms aren't big enough. They're going to be big enough for the basic guild halls. They won't be big enough for the grand ones. I mean, neither will the one that we just did either. Yeah, it's very easy to change the guild halls and where they are. This is going to be a pretty area. But for now, I'll just do the farmers one down there. Okay, let me check our entombment situation here. Wow, all these coffins are actually full. Oh, you know what I probably need? I probably need an order in here, yeah, for rock doors. There we go. Upper ones could be more like guild museums, show off the visitors. Yeah, make it easier for people to steal my artifacts. I see what you're doing there. Goddamn elf spy, I bet you are. No, that's not a bad idea. Ba-da-da-da. Diorite. Where's the burial receptacle? Right over there. Firelight, that's fine. Burial here. Firelight. Burial here. Not the artifact. I was actually surprised on how many dwarves died. Or have died, I should say. Okay. In prep, we're going to make a little room over here for our artifact coffin. I don't know what we're going to do with it. It might be a noble's tomb. It might just be a place we reserve for a dwarf of note that dies. You know, someone who takes out a forgotten beast but then dies in the process or something. I'm not sure. But it'll at least let me place the artifact coffin in there and then stop it from coming up the list. I mean, I could go to the stockpile and forbid it, but then I'd eventually forget about it. You know what? I can probably set planning mode to not use the artifact. That's a good point. When I tried to do this, I went into planning mode. Well, I don't know if you can filter artifacts. You can set a quality and a material, but I actually don't know, like, are artifacts just set to max quality, so if I lower the quality one step, it wouldn't use the artifact? I don't know. Now, we have a lot of wood construction going on here. What's our woodwhacker situation? Oh, you're right! It's wood! If we just filtered it to stone, it would work. Okay, we only have the 2 woodwhackers. I think we're going to want a couple more. Especially since they're also responsible for doing wood burning, which can get us our coal supply. So we're going to want quite a few more. So one thing I want to do is take a look at all of our peasants and trying to decide who we might add to the woodwhacker task. Now, currently, the most important skill might be if someone had carpenter skill, which they don't. Bower, you don't care very much about. Again, Monty Max, we're shunning you. And the reason is, this is only from making wooden crossbows, which we don't particularly care about. This would be an excellent crossbow, but the quality of the crossbow only matters when you are meleeing someone with the crossbow. And wooden crossbows suck at that anyway. So we are not going to be doing that. So screw Monty Max. Wood cutting, we do have Ryan McGarvey here who's good at wood cutting, which means they'll cut down trees very fast. I don't know how critical that is. They don't mind being outdoors, which is nice in their preference. But what I was thinking is, and then I suppose there's also wood crafting. Now, wood crafting is interesting. Ewan Who's Army has a 10. I believe wood crafting is used for making wooden bolts, and the quality of the bolt does matter for range combat. Now, wood bolts are really only going to be used by our hunters, but it will help our hunters quite a bit. So I was wondering about Ewan Who's Army, but they have no particular key phrase here for the outdoors, which might be fine if they're not going around chopping down trees, right? But if we look here, there are some dwarves in here who actually say they like the outdoors. Now you can see all these in game as well. So he doesn't mind being outdoors. That's Drub. Hates hamsters. Garfy doesn't mind being outdoors. Now, I don't know what doesn't mind being outdoors means. Here's another one here. But some like the outdoors, and I think they're much more likely to get the wishes they were wandering mood. There we go. Okay, here. Electric Cat ND likes working outdoors. So I believe what this will do is if Electric Cat ND goes for a long time without being assigned to plant gathering, wood cutting, or hunting, then they will start getting a cranky mood thing, which isn't a huge deal, but they're probably a good pick to put on one of those tasks over there. And currently they don't have any particular skill in any one area. So I was thinking we would go and add them to the woodwhackers. So when they chop down trees, you know, they'll get to spend some time outdoors and they'll theoretically make them happy. So I think that's what I'm going to do with Electric Cat over here. We're going to add a new woodwhacker. Done. And maybe another one. So tell you what, we'll put Hugh and Hugh's Army in this as well, but maybe we won't give them the wood cutting. All right, they're not here to chop down trees. I like it. All right, so now we got 4 of them, and it's going to be helpful for constructing these walls a little bit faster, because we're making these out of wood. It's, I believe, carpentry gets used for this. Do we have our dining hall is also doubling as a temple, right? We're like min-maxing all those things. Yeah, the Meal of Ale is our tavern, great name, and the Outrageous Sanctum is our non-denominational temple, which should be giving our dwarves relatively decent thoughts. Let's take a look at one of these. Reddish Mallard over here, whose clothes is starting to get worn. I think small X is a little bit worn, big X is very worn, and then I think it goes to big X, little x, and then big X, big X. And then after that, I think it just like disintegrates. So the clothing's getting a little worn, but not really a problem so far. Someone might be able to correct me about the clothes wear at that point. Do you have wheelbarrows assigned to the Bluckstone? That's a good question. Glass half empty. I'll have to check on that. So if we take a look at Reddish, overall, they're feeling, they're in a pretty decent mood. Oh, they are a military dwarf. Felt fondness talking to acquaintance. And last season, interested watching a performance, so we are doing performances and things in our tavern, which is helpful. You felt lonely dwelling upon being away from friends for too long. Although you have talked with an acquaintance at least relatively soon. Uneasy after being unable to pray. Can they not pray? Is there a reason why this person can't pray in the group temple where you are right now? I don't know. Also bored after being unable to practice a craft for too long. That's okay. That's why we're going to set up the Build-A-Bolt workshop here. And maybe we got to get that going sooner rather than later. Do we have a Fluxstone stockpile? Huh. I don't think we do. So let me trim this metal bar stockpile down over here. We're going to make a stone stockpile. So it'll have one wheelbarrow assigned by default, which is probably fine. It's not a very big wheel, although I think it's going to be pretty... We're going to consume the Fluxstone fairly often? I don't know. Maybe it's going to be fine. So I'm going to limit this to, I believe marble's the Fluxstone we have? I guess we have dolomite as well, right? I guess I could just permit... So presumably limestone, dolomite, chalk, and marble are the Fluxstones. Maybe gypsum as well, I'm not sure, but we don't have access to that. But we do have marble. I'll turn all four of these on, although I think really it's mostly going to get... Because I think all four of these are... I think there's 5 Fluxstones. Dwarf Fortress Fluxstone. Yes, calcite, which is down here. Chalk, dolomite, limestone, and marble. These are the 5 Fluxstones. So we'll enable all those. A lot of them we don't have around here, but the idea is... So Fluxstone is used for making steel. It's part of the steel making industry, which we do have over here, some smelting. Although, again, what I could do... is I'll use the manager to set these things up instead. Take away the repeats. Oops. And the repeats. And yeah, we'll use... so... It's limonite, which is our iron-bearing ore. We also have some garnierite, which we can use for some things. But let's set up the steel chain first. First, we want to smelt limonite. And we'll smelt them in chunks of 5. That's fine. And then we're going to make pig iron in chunks of 5. And then we're going to make steel bars in chunks of 5. And before I forget, I'll also put in a smelt garnierite ore in chunks of 5 over here. So we're going to set a condition. Basically, this can go forever. I don't want to ever stop making garnierite. Although I suppose we could, right? So this will produce nickel for us, which... Do we really care about it? Not so much. But we'll say something like, limit yourself to 10 bars of nickel, because we don't really care about this too much. Yes, the coal will do as well. Thank you very much for that. And then we'll make a limit for regents. So we need to make sure there's at least 5 garnierite, because this is a job of 5 ore. And then we'll ask that there's at least 10 coal before we start this, because we have a lot of things using coal. So they'll interrupt each other a little bit sometimes if we have a coal shortage, but that's going to be okay. All right. So the big thing is limonite. We'll set a condition in here. So this will make iron bars. I think I want to keep like at least 20 iron bars. And in fact, this will go up to potentially 24 iron bars. And that's okay. I think we want a good buffer of iron bars in here. And then same thing with reagents. We'll make sure you've got at least 5 limonite, because that's how much you need for the job. And again, we'll keep that buffer of coal in there to make it slightly less likely that jobs run into each other. Pig iron. We don't need a ton sitting around. But I guess I'll leave the limiter at 10 over there. That's going to be okay. Reagents over here. So this is a little bit different. It has the refined coal in there twice. I'm just going to remove one because obviously it's redundant. Fluxstone limit could be set to 5. Do we use Fluxstone for the steel job as well? Yeah, we do. Okay. Let me come back to the pig iron then. So I do want a buffer of at least 10 Fluxstone to keep everything going. 10 iron bars. Yeah, because we might want to keep some iron bars around for random jobs. In fact, I might want to leave a larger buffer of iron bars. Nah, it's going to be okay. Well, let's go with this. We might make some adjustments. And then for the steel bars, we can set a production limit on there, but it's going to be quite high. You can keep up to like 50 steel bars. And, oh, for the pig iron, we are the only thing that consumes pig iron. So if there's at least 5 pig iron bars, you can start a job to make 5 steel bars at a time. And keep at least 50 around. We want a big buffer, because when we make a new military squad, we're going to be ordering a shit ton of steel things to be made in bulk. So we want a nice big buffer of that. Okay, that looks really good. Now, our wood floor, which is this one over here, this is where our wood burners are. Wood furnaces. We actually might want more than the 2. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a pair of carpenter's workshops here, and I'll have the pair of craft dwarves. So carpenters and craft dwarves, 2 and 2. I'm going to remove this other craft dwarf workshop here and add a 3rd wood furnace, because there's going to be times when we're going to want to make sure we get coal fast. Until we get magma furnaces, yeah. So we're going to want a job to make charcoal. We're gonna ask for like make 10 at a time. We're gonna set a production limit, but our coal, we're gonna have them store up to like 50 bars of coal, because when the metal production ramps up, it'll start consuming this quite quickly. So we're gonna be happy to have a big buffer. And I could put a reagent thing, which means this charcoal job won't start unless we have 10 logs. But I'm actually not gonna run that, because I want my alerts to get spammed if I don't have enough log. If we don't have enough logs to make charcoal, I want to see a bunch of red messages saying, whoa, we don't have enough logs, we don't have enough logs, so I can tell my dwarves to go cut down some trees. Okay. We don't need to link any shops in this case, because the shops that match for those jobs only exist on their floors for this particular, for these casts, so that's going to be okay. Why not use auto chops? And we may. I do have it set up. If nothing else, I might set a non-limited auto chop inside our little fortress over here. So the second we get a tree that pops up inside of our wall here, just go ahead and chop it down. But mostly I want to use, like, for the stuff outside of our fortress, I think I'm going to want to use a certain amount of manual control. Cannot produce cloth trousers. So we do have the jobs for clothing. Oh no, I must have repeating jobs for those. So I guess what I should do is I should go out, I should actually disable workflow in DF hack. Oh, you're right. We did build the noble rooms over here, but we haven't actually done anything with them yet. They were still filling up because we were kind of behind on furniture, but they're kind of there now. Because we'd have a mayor, Smooths, and I think the mayor's room is going to be over here. And the other one who wants bedrooms is Brixified, the captain of the guard, who I believe was going to get put over here. We're finally starting to get some of the furniture for that. So, yeah, make a bedroom over here. I set up sort of a double bed, which is redundant, but that's okay. So Smooths. We'll have to change the profession title to noble over here properly. He's going to get this bedroom. Okay, yeah, none of those are things. Assign table to Smooths. And actually, I can use DF hack to reallocate this to a mayor. I haven't seen this really work very well, but in theory, if a new mayor is elected, these 3 rooms should then be assigned to them. I should make one of these doors internal. Let's make this door internal. So then if I come over to the office and I resize it, it'll actually include this entire front hallway as belonging to the office. and then decoration in here will A, add to the value of the office, but also, like, if the mayor wants weapon racks and stuff, I can put them in here and it'll count as belonging to him, so he'll be quite happy about that. So that's what internals on doors do. It makes the flow for things go through them, which is kind of nice. I'll have to collect all these rocks at some point. I could just hide them. So the two different ways you can hide things. You can use designate, so D, and then B, and then H. And you can hide things in area, which is kind of interesting. The other thing you can do is you can go to your stocks here, Z and stocks, and if you go down to stone, you can go down this list and just go hide, 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 hide. I can't hide the firelight for some reason. That's weird. Maybe it's all being hauled. You can do that. And then, so the stone's still there, you just can't see it. There's pros and cons to doing that. It does look a little prettier. On the downside, it can be slightly confusing sometimes if there's like a rock there, but you can't see it, but you're not sure why something's kind of broken. Right now, maybe I'll leave them off. We'll see. Coffins built, good. We're getting masterpiece tables. That's very nice. The agreement to establish a guild hall for the fenced hall has been abandoned. Shit! That's probably something that happened last time. We probably promised to build a guild hall for someone, which is what we were building up here. Which is why we started guild hall construction. But I have no idea what guild hall that was for. Our Berries of Doom are still coming along. They're not fancy enough yet, but we ran out of time for that one. I think it was something that started last stream, and I just forgot about it because I didn't know what it was. So this place is waiting for value to be delivered. Mostly we have to wait for tables and chairs to get built. You got a bit of a backlog of that. What I might do, just to make sure, well, no, these are coming through fine. We just have a big backlog of those jobs to do. Should I add more masons shops over here? Oh, suspend. Turn off these repeats. There we go. That's why it's not working so well either, because of, yeah, all these workflow jobs, which I'm going to start turning off just because they don't work well between each other. Let's make rock mug a job through them. Well, this is the one example actually of when I do want to use, well, they have to be workshop specific, but I can do it here. Profile manager, work orders, add work order for rock mug, which is going to be linked specifically to here. Do them in clumps of, well, actually, do I just want to set a perpetual order? Or do I want to set a limit of like 500 mugs? Fuck it, perpetual order, we can always change our mind later on. And over here as well. Profile manager, work order, belonging to this particular workshop, and perpetual order. I guess if you hit 100, it just defaults. So those will show up in the global manager as linked to specifically these two workshops over here. It'd be nice if you could just set a generic job over here and then choose which shops are linked to, but I don't think you can link this job to a particular shop. You can hit enter to choose how many shops it's limited to, but I don't think you can link one to the other. Yeah, I don't think, yeah, you can't tie an order to multiple workshops. You can either make a global order or individual workshop orders. I think we got some bits in. Was that the sound I just heard? Hey, Darkins! Thank you very much. I probably missed a ton of things that have happened as well. Too many mugs. What blasphemy is this? Right? Well, I mean, if we keep missing our trade window, that's okay. It's just great when you get to the point where you just buy an entire, like, wagon load simultaneously. Like, just buy all the things in one big go. That room get carved out? Excellent. So I'm going to build burial receptacle, planning mode off. Our artifact coffin is going to get put in there. And the thing I have to do, though, is I have to watch this. Well, again, I'm assuming at this point all the dwarves... Yeah, so all these coffins over here are empty. So all the dwarves that needed to be buried have now been buried. So no one's going to get immediately placed in the coffin, even if I get distracted. Oh, what did I miss here? Since the in-game UI doesn't show your agreed petitions at all, yes, the risk of repeating myself, make sure you read it. List agreements in the... Oh, that's right! I do... you know what? I even remember seeing that in the DF hack documentation. It is really annoying, though. But yes, I've used this on my own. I just forgot about the goddamn thing. So, are none of these outstanding? Because they do reveal themselves differently. These are the agreements. Craftsman, farmer. Are they outstanding? Maybe those are all the outstanding ones. Yeah, that must have been the Craftsman Guild Hall up there, and there's a temple to a particular god. Okay, so hold on. First, let's go up to the top and down here and build door with planning mode. That's fine. If I do this and this, and we're going to make a zone using flow mode. Hang on. Because I remember, I was reading all this. They're outstanding if you haven't finished them. It takes a year for them to get canceled after you agree with them. So none of them say outstanding, right? It says establish temple, so presumably... Well, this has been over a year for this temple. And this has been over a year for this over here. This one has not been over a year, which we know because it just happened on the stream. But there's not a good differentiation. So I'm wondering if this is still legal, if maybe every year I'll just get crankiness from the dwarves because we haven't done it. But then I can still do it and then satisfy them. Okay, well, let's find out. So this is going to be a meeting hall for a new location, a new guild for craftsmen. Craftsdwarf Hall, there it is. Right there. The Inky Nets. No, these are terrible names. Come on, we can do better than that. Rename. Here, we'll random a few times. Citadel, no. The Abbey of Sweltering. The Calm Bells. The Ochre Boot. The Robust Town. The Conjuring. The Staff of Foot. The Combined Mirrors. The Adventurous Quakes. The Galley of Leopards. The Oceanic Orbs. Doesn't make sense, but I'm going to go for it because it's an alliteration that entertains me. Yeah, see, it doesn't say there's a promise here anymore. So I'm assuming, right, because it would say if there's a promise, like compare the Berries of Doom, agreed to build Guild Hall. Oceanic Orbs, it doesn't say that, even though there's this outstanding agreement over here. So I don't think this, unless there's an extra help, fulfilled should disappear once it's established. So I get, maybe it just doesn't know that it's expired. Well, we'll see how these play out. And then, yeah, we are missing a temple for the Sect of Heaven. Let's go and plan on constructing it. For now, what I'll do is I'll just use one of these rooms as a temple. And again, it's really easy to move guild halls later on, and temples. So we'll see what happens when those get filled out. Well, here I've asked a great question, why the guild hall is not with the respective caste. Now I remember the reason. Because crafts dwarves aren't one caste. That is a cross-craft guild. Because it'll combine rock, wood, and bone crafters all together. So that's why we're building the guild hall here rather than a craft floor. However, for our farmers guild, which is clearly just going to be related to this particular craft, they're going to set up over here. Now, our smoothing is taking a while to get there. We do have 5 dwarfs set the stone detailing. I mean, we could set more, and maybe, you know, I should. If Quiet Tony's not currently doing much, Ghost Boy's watching a metal smithing demonstration. They might have a plan to change careers. I'll enable those 2. I would like to get some master engravers, but I guess I've got that already. We'll add a little bit more smoothing. You know what? Popsicles, I'll turn on your smoothing as well. So we can get a few more of these things smoothed down a little faster. FPS is falling. It's probably a goddamn bird. FPS is falling from the sky? Probably because there's a goddamn bird. Death to but yeah, and it's a bird that has somehow wandered into my butcher's workshop and then is constantly trying to pathfind a way out of it. My first question is, how the frick did the bird get in there? This thing is roofed. Oh, this thing was roofed. Why are there holes in my roofs? I don't know if I have to roof the top of the door, but I will now. I just looked at this. Buzzards running from the nuisance, now they're building destroyers. Who knows? Anyway, squad, AB. Both squads. Oh, I have to replace the tunnel snake. Who should we make into a tunnel snake? Anyway, both squads, go over there. Beat the shit out of this bird. Buzzards peck a hole in the roof? I don't think they can. Buzzards are ruthless. Ruthless. Alright, the buzzard has been killed, therefore restoring our frames per second. Because this made any sense whatsoever. Oh, we got a bruise on our hand here. Yeah, it's really weird. But our hunters are mostly keeping the buzzard population under control. Yeah, and just like that, our frame rate is fine again. I mean, we're gonna need this smooth as well for the good. Well, let's wait. Door's been completed, although it'll very soon restart. Oh, and actually, speaking of doors, we're gonna want doors for our bedrooms over here for our farmers. Oh, I carved out a little too much here. Yeah, the pathing is really weird with the buzzard. And the thing is, there was an opening, so theoretically the buzzard should have been able to fly out of there. But yeah, I don't know. It's whenever a buzzard gets stuck in our butcher's thing. And maybe I should just remove the refuse stockpile from in here. It's convenient because the butcher creates the refuse, but it's full. We'd have to move it all inside of our base, which we don't want to do. I don't know. Okay, slab job is done. Now, we need to check, hold on. Over here, do we need to engrave memorial slabs to anyone? No. Everyone is either entombed or slabbed. Some both. Grown attached to a bronze crossbow. Charlie Elisa. Okay, let's make someone... Yeah, one buzzard kill, 80% FPS. Yeah, I don't know. We need to add someone else to our tunnel snakes, and hopefully they're going to start to get some of their metal equipment soon. We do have it in the queue. Something is there. So let's have a look through our peasants and try to get a sense of what we might want to look at. So I'm going to skip Monty Max and Conrad because they have roles. So True Luzgan, let's take a look at you. See if you might be a good fit for the military. You're slow to tire, which is good. Dwarves get very tired while fighting, so having high endurance is important. They're clumsy, weak, and remarkably flimsy. Now, some of that can be worked on in the military, but right now, this is a Steve Rogers before the super soldier serum kind of situation. You know, she can do this all day, but she's not going to win any fights. I think we're going to skip over True. Let's take a look at Abiz the Fuzz. Abiz the Fuzz, tough, strong, and quick to heal. Now, they're quick to tire and clumsy. I don't think the clumsy matters too much. It means low agility. It might affect their ability to dodge. I think it might affect their range combat, but this is a melee squad. Quick to tire, low endurance kind of sucks. I don't know if you build that up through practice, but the rest of it sounds pretty good. Anything else notable with you? I mean, some crankiness over here. You dream of mastering a skill, Disgusted by tradition, but flouted by any he encounters, Thinks he's fairly important. Sounds like maybe a little bit of a bully, but I think it's gonna be okay. Melee training trains agility a lot. Okay, so agility will get boosted. So being clumsy, we don't care about. The quick to heal, as far as I know, is one of the most important things for military dwarves, because that determines their ability to bounce back from injury, and I don't think it can be trained. I think Abiz the Fuzz is going to be a fantastic addition to our military squad here. So I'll do it through this view because it'll be slightly more convenient. Biz the Fuzz right here. First, we are going to assign you to the tunnel snakes. Secondly, I'm going to give you the soldier profession, which is going to tweak what you're doing. Done. Excellent. So if we take a look at our tunnel snakes now, Abiz the Fuzz has taken up slot 8. Excellent. Okay. And we have a request for various steel equipment, which is being slowly produced, which is nice to see. Okay, now, let's take a look at our barracks over here. We have our archery ranges. Well, some of them are... Oh, wait, I made armor stands for some of these. Shit, that's why they look different. Couldn't figure out why they looked different before. I used lowercase a instead of uppercase. Okay, so we'll remove a couple of armor stands. And then up over here... Oh, apparently I didn't actually remove this floor. Or is there more remove... Oh, I guess there's some more remove construction jobs pending over here. Okay, we're not quite done, but that's okay. But this over here... This is going to be a barracks. The iron bows are here to sleep, train, and store their equipment. We're going to make sure there's some storage. The tunnel stakes will use this for some training right now because they don't have their own barracks. So we're going to set up some containers in here. Wooden chest. I don't know how many containers you need. We'll set up 5 containers. I think they'll really only need 1, but it's going to be okay. So they can store their equipment. Some beds are coming soon, which is good. Healing can be trained by healing injuries. So I have danger room. I know they can improve, like, the doctor skill. Does that actually improve their recuperation? That's interesting. I don't think we're going to do that, but it is quite interesting. Wow, Art, that is terrible. I never want to fight a giant tick. Holy cow. I mean, I don't think I would have wanted to fight one in the first place, but now I really don't want to fight one. Oh, and the other thing is, this is from leftover from last stream, is I want to... Firelight, because it'll be a gray. Fill in these little gaps over here. Firelight blocks. And another one right over here. Oh no, this is actually supposed to be a fortification right there. Yeah, the Gavro, that's fine. Excellent. Okay. Oh, I meant to say this at the start of the stream. We are only going until 3 o'clock today, so we're only going for another 45 minutes. There's some family things going on over here. That means I can't go for the full 4-hour stream. It's only going to be a 3-hour stream. Only 3 hours. Still seems like a huge amount. Oh, the autumn! It's late autumn! The leaves are falling from the trees! Isn't that cute? Oh, I love it. Such pretty. That's a graphic artifact. Okay. We're gonna make a... Not a zone, sorry. We're making a warren over here. A new burrow. Warren/burrow. They're used interchangeably. I'm gonna define this burrow, which is gonna be this whole area over here. I'm gonna name this as Migrant Quarantine. So new migrants are going to be assigned to this, and then once they're inside, we're going to seal this up in case one of them turns out to be a were creature. Next thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to build, construct, wall. Just, oops, a little more narrow. Oh, that's the wrong button. Right over here. Kind of, you know, we're just going to keep going with wood. Let's use some apple wood here. And then I'm going to construct a ramp over here as well. The walls don't actually need to be there. Each wood, that's going to be fine. But what's going to happen is we're going to have a kill zone on the wall above. We'll let those get built, and then we'll come back in a second. I'm going to chop down a couple more trees here just to make it a little easier to see what we're doing. Oh, actually, this isn't where I want it. I want it over here. Yes, this is where I want it. Wall. Ramp. Excellent. Okay. Ha 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 ha. There might be a food and drink storage in there. What I could also do is set up a dumping stockpile and dump food from the upper area. So the idea is I'm going to have a ramp here. That's going to lead to an area that's kind of hard to visualize right now because of these trees. So, you know, let's just kill a few more trees. They're stupid anyway. Because what I'm going to do, build, construct, floor. I'll use the box select mode, which lets me ignore building limitations as well. Did it? Oh, didn't actually take the click. Oh, because there's trees in the way, it's not letting me place that. Okay, we'll come back to that. But the idea is a floor over here, and then fortifications, and then if any of these things turn into beware creatures, I'm going to move my archer squad up here and just fire down on them. And then I can also put a garbage stockpile over here. I can mark some food and drink to be dumped. Dwarves will come up over here and dump it over the edge into the room, and then I'll unforbid it if I need to make sure that they're okay. But the thing is, I only need to keep the dwarves quarantined for a month, and they will survive. A little bit of fasting, you know, they're going to be tough. They're going to be okay. You know, in times like these, it's very important that everyone, you know, puts up with various government quarantine restrictions. Very important. Hey, winter is upon us! Trees know that they're dying. Death to all trees. It's endurance training for fighting against were pandas. So I had a fortress, my personal fortress, which was going awesome. Everything is fantastic. And I had like a deadly set of 5 military squads, all equipped with the latest and greatest steel tools. Steel battle axes, full plate steel armor, like they were just death machines, and they would just rip apart everything without any problems whatsoever. And then a steel Forgotten Beast showed up. Forgotten Beast made out of pure steel. And we spent... Whoa! Are we over 80 dwarves? Anyway, we spent 2 weeks solid fighting the thing. Didn't do any real damage to it, and all my dwarves are just exhausted all the time. So endurance is a thing. Okay, a vile force of darkness has arrived. Also, apparently there's a pawn grabber finding a cave crocodile. Alright, you guys have fun there. What do we have here? Well, if we go to the others, we can see we currently have 7 invaders. There might still be some coming onto the map. So after you get to 80 dwarves, I believe this is when you can start getting sieged. And we do have a goblin civilization nearby. And bizarrely, they've actually sent goblins. The thing is, goblin civilizations can have, well, any civilization can have a member of any race. After time, you get invaded by like a goblin siege, and you look and they're like elves and humans and a dwarf or something like that. Goblins are harder to fight than elves. Elves have wooden armor and wooden weapons. They're shit. Goblins aren't super tough, but they do still have decent stuff, and right now we don't. So we have to assume currently that we can't deal with these guys. On the other hand, we can modify our little guard patrol to patrol our proper outer walls now, since we've got that sorted, which is good. But step 1, we have to tell everyone to get to the inner fortress. Thunderstorms going on. That's great news. Okay, now the invaders were up over here, so they got a while to get before they get to the fortress. We're gonna give our dwarves that are outside a wee bit, and okay, they're just grouping on the side. They're gonna start moving forward, but they don't rush forward instantly, which is good to see. It'd be nice if we could quickly tell if there are any dwarves stuck on the surface. I mean, we had construction over here. We had wood chopping. I'm actually not seeing any dwarves out on the surface currently. We actually might be able to seal up the fortress instantly. There is a moment before the bridge goes up, so we A, want to do it before the goblins get close, and B, if there is a dwarf out there, they might still make it in okay. I think I'm just going to pull the lever. So this lever over here is wired to the outer gate, so we're going to yoink the outer gate closed. Theoretically, someone should do that pretty soon. The pull lever labor is enabled for all dwarves. Yeah, someone's doing it right now. Who's that? Silent Shot. Oh my god. We got a cat coming in. Are you gonna make it? Oh, okay. This cat didn't make it inside in time, but luckily did not get catapulted by the gate. That might work out poorly for the cat and vis-a-vis the goblins, but... Anyway, I can lift our burrow to release our dwarves. Catapulted. And so what I want to do is I want to change our patrol plan over here. So, no. Is it under notes? Or routes? There is a route. R for routes now. So inner tower patrol. So I'm going to make a new patrol for our outer wall. So shift N for notes. We got to place some points. So here. And I'm just going to draw a perimeter. I don't even think I need this many points, but I just want to make sure it works okay. Now this is such a long patrol, I don't think we're going to have to do the trick where we make sure to reset them so that you can get ammo, because they should break vision of bad guys at some point regardless. Okay, so I've got that. Now what I want to do is go to route. Edit routes. Add route. Name route. Outer wall control. Edit waypoints. Add. You can see the slight blue line that represents the path they're going to try to take. For some reason, cutting through there. I guess it's just showing where the next waypoint is. That's not actually how they'll walk. Because unless dwarves have suddenly learned how to fly. There we go. This is a little weird. I guess I could put a point here, but I think these guys are fine. So now we have an outer wall patrol route. So they're just going to walk this in a loop. With 9 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, okay, that's correct. Excellent. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my military. I'm going to check the schedules. So our iron bows, when they're active, 6 of them are on train and 2 of them are on patrol. And they patrol the inner tower patrol. I'm going to make a change to this. First of all, I'm going to edit the training. Oops. Cancel. Edit this. Bring it down to 4 soldiers set to training. And then I'm going to go to the order list. Go down to patrol. Edit this. They are now going to... How do I change what the patrol is? Okay, that was weird. It's like set to the wrong column or something bizarre like that. Because I had to go sideways before I could go up and down. It's the outer wall patrol, and it's a much bigger wall, so I'm going to change it to require 4 soldiers. So there you go. 4 training, 4 patrolling, and 2 can just look after their needs as need be. I'm going to rename the order. You know what? Just call it Chain Patrol. That way I don't have to keep renaming it. And then copy. Paste, 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 paste. Good. Okay, so the iron bows are now going to be always patrolling the outer wall. Now, I can also have an extra schedule, which is the super duper panic schedule, where we get all in the patrol. Which actually, I think I'm kind of tempted to do one of those now. So what I want to do is come out of here, go to alerts, create a new alert. Outer wall defense, which the iron bows are going to be set to. How do I change what schedule I'm modifying right now? the way they're displayed. Do they just have two schedules, active and inactive? Give order, edit order, cancel order, copy order, paste orders, move selector, order list, view alerts. Oh, hold on. There we go. But what alert is this? Oh, there we go. It's at the top. So this is the outer wall defense alert. So here they're going to get a new order. Give orders. Their order is going to be patrol route, outer wall patrol. Oh, I forgot to shift enter. Outer wall patrol with all 10 soldiers. Copy. There we go. So now, if I look at my squads and I set my iron bows, so right now, 4 of them should be patrolling the outer wall, but if I go to the iron balls and there you go, set them to outer wall defense. Oh, which I'd already done. Now all 10 of them should be patrolling the outer walls and automatically shooting at goblins. I've never really played with this before. I'm quite interested to see how it goes. Wait. Oh no, those are just blocks sitting on the floor. I thought there were some more floors that had gone missing. Like, what is happening? There are trees inside my walls, which should be fine. We can cut them as a source of labor. I could also just tell my squads to just go sit on a wall, but I kind of want to, see this automation in play. So let's take a look at one of our iron bows, Green Eyes. So if I find you in here, no job. You, sorry, zoom, follow. You're still set to no job. But are you on your way up? You are on your way up. No. There we go. Now you're doing your patrol outer wall. Excellent. So now, if I just go back to the surface and move up, we should, at some point very soon, start to see some dwarves doing patrols in the outer walls. Let's take a look. Where are the bad guys? Oh, a few more did show up on the map. And they're just wandering. Okay. Now, it's possible. There you go. Look at the patrols. Look, it's working. Look, they're here and here and here. They're patrolling the walls. Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm so happy right now. Look at this. Oh, and they're shooting. There's goblins right over here. So they're taking shots at them as they come by. Nothing's hit at all. Because we don't... Oh, there's a combat log finally. So Mr. Cheel took a shot. The goblin was forced to dodge. Yes, okay. A little bit more. Blocks with the iron shield. Jeez, they have iron shields. Soon they will be our iron shields. Now, since they are on this side, what I could do is take my iron bows, give them a move command, come over here, and they should all set up on this wall. There you go. And they're going to stand here and shoot now. And then if there's no shooting, I could cancel it and put them back on patrol. If they're shooting at them, they're down here in this lower area now. Have we hit anything yet? Oh, yes! One of the goblins was hit in the lower body, tearing the muscle and the guts. Excellent. And in the upper body, hitting them in the lung. Good. The hammerman over here, trying to block, but eventually, steel bolt strikes the goblin hammerman in the right hand, fraction the bone, and the wrist through the gauntlet. Torn open, lodged the wounds. Force bends the wrist, shattering the bone. Wow. Yeah, it's forced to drop their hammer. Be nice if we forced them to drop their shields. Oh, this is working! Here, I'm gonna cancel the station. And then just be on regular patrol, then continue just patrolling around. Oh, yeah. And what's nice about this is sometimes you can get, like, random attackers for all kinds of different reasons. And so having a few dwarves on patrol of our walls might spot them. And still see the bolts going from time to time. This goblin hammerman has not been injured yet. Can't dodge them all. Oh, are the goblins up over here now? They might have spotted something. Maybe the cat. Or maybe they know of a way in. Keep an eye on them. Make sure nothing bad happens. They're standing there. They're not able to climb up here, are they? And they should. There's an overhang. It just felt like I saw one disappear for a second. But no, we have overhangs everywhere. Actually, this one here, what's interesting about this goblin here and here... Let's see here. Yeah, both of these two can't currently be shot. Because they're under the underhang. Which may be something we want to correct. I don't know. On the other hand, if we lowered the bridge... Splat! They're not... Oh, loses hold of your shield. Nice. Wait. Oh, they do have bowmen who are trying to shoot at us. Now, I think they're very likely to... I think they're very likely to hit our defenses rather than hit our guys. Need a lava storage above the main gates. Oh, that sounds fun. Those trees at the front of your entrance seem to be going all the way towards the shooty hills? Shooty holes? What trees do you climb people get in? What trees? Oh! Well, that's interesting. I don't think they can jump from here. I don't think they can climb to the shooty holes. And then certainly I don't think they can use this to jump. Well, maybe. I might have to keep a little bit more space. This one might actually conceivably be a problem here. How many of these guys are injured? So this guy hasn't been touched. This guy's pretty badly hurt. He hasn't been touched. He hasn't been touched. This one's really badly hurt. Yeah, both of these. And so far, everything has been 100% safe, I think. Wait. There's melee going on. Shit, one of the goblins did get inside. How? Do we really need to pave the entire world? Are these trees really close enough? How much of a gap do I need? I thought 3 would be plenty. Maybe we've got to go at like 5. The other thing we could do is we could roof. And honestly, that would be fine. I know they can climb trees. I thought that was far enough away, and with the overhang. We can just put a roof on top of all this. So they could climb the trees and conceivably get on top of the roof of the building, and who cares? Is they still alive? No, that's his corpse. Okay. Yeah, he's dead. Although, we might have sustained some injuries. No, we've got thirsty dwarves. Oh, we should make sure they have flasks. You know, that's something we can do with our nickel. Let's order 20 nickel flasks to be made. So each military dwarf will be able to carry a flask of booze with them. Lead flasks are funny. Don't build a roof, just cut down more trees. What I could do is I could use auto chop with no limiter and include a zone of everything outside the walls to just auto cut the trees. I mean, conceivably for a long siege, they might regrow. I'm gonna hydrate. You know what? I'm gonna have a ginger ale. It's not proper, but we only got 22 more minutes to the stream, so I don't want to interrupt it to go and get a glass of water.
Oh, the mandate's over.
Oh shit, we had a mandate? I never even noticed. Damn it. We should get our captain of the guard organized in their room, though, so they're a little happier. So it's Brixified. So Brixified's gonna get a little office over here, assigned to the captain of the guard, and a little dining room. Brixified, and a nice little bedroom over here. Assigned. And let's check Everyone is satisfied. Lovely. Didn't notice we had a mandate. So that means... Okay, no criminals. So they... maybe the mayors don't get cranky enough to, like, require justice. I'm surprised we should be able to shoot this guy. This goblin maceman. Yeah, so he's right here. So anyone who comes by right here should shoot at him. Tell you what, let's get our iron bows. We're going to tell them to move to here. Now, this is something I was actually concerned about. The ones who aren't quite flush with the fortifications might not actually fire. Theoretically, I was hoping Nulani would be firing here. Do you still have, like, arrows? You have a quiver. Crossbow. Can I look inside the quiver? I don't know. I'm surprised they're not shooting down at these guys. Right here. Is I for... Well, I'm looking at the inventory. It is I for inventory. This is the inventory. Right, so Tokugawa here has a giant hamster leather quiver. I just don't know if I can look... Oh, there we go. Now it let me hit enter. Why didn't it let me hit enter on the previous one? Maybe I had the wrong thing selected. So this is the quiver. It doesn't tell me if there's anything in it. I'm thinking they're not currently armed. Cancel the station, and I'm going to set your schedule to training. So some of you will go back into the training room. Some of you are still going to patrol. Yeah, I'm a little unsure here. Sharp handful of fortifications on the lower floor walls. Oh, yeah, and maybe. Although that will allow people to shoot in unless I set moats or something like that, which might have to be the way it goes. So, our steel battle axes, breastplates, helms, greaves, these are being produced. Let's take a look at our military squads over here. The tunnel stakes. Okay, first of all, the iron bows are also equipping metal armor, so they're grabbing some of them. So the tunnel snakes are now getting their melee weapons, but they still don't have metal armor. Because I forgot our archer squad is metal based as well. Oh, there we go. Arrows are firing again. Alright. So really what I need to do is I need to get another 10 of each of the metal armors making. Steel breastplate. Steel helm. Steel greaves. Steel gauntlets. Steel high boots. There we go. For the melee squad. We might end up with a few spares, and that's okay. Is that leather from a giant hamster or a giant quiver made out of ham? I'm assuming it's a giant hamster. Potentially a giant space hamster. Who knows? I still like the fact if we bring down the gate right now, it will squash a goblin. Which might be enough to break the siege. Steel battle axes, two-handers. I don't think so. I think you can battle axe and shield. In fact, I think you might be able to crossbow and shield too. I'm not sure Dwarf Fortress is a concept of handedness. I don't know. I might be completely talking my ass. That's possible. We squashed the goblins you let on Goblin Knight. That is true. Oh, they've moved anyway. So Goblin Knight is referred to as the material that the goblins bring with you, because you can always melt it down and then reform it. We should actually plan for something like that over here. Right, that's the Build-A-Bolt. I'll tell you what, opposite the Build-A-Bolt, because honestly, a lot of the stuff that gets Build-A-Bolted, well, I guess the bolt's not so much, but if we had a little training workshop for like metal crafting, we might end up with garbage that we want to melt down. But let's be ready. You know what, maybe I'll plan on a little hallway here just in case. Yeah, actually, let's go with the 10. It's gonna be alright. make a stockpile over here, and this is going to be for things that we're going to want to melt down. Such as Goblinite. No other combat in a little bit. Goblins are still there.
Sir, here's the list. Looks like we're out of these things.
Our weapons, dwarves will need 2 hands to use. You just can't normally build in fortress mode like longsword. Okay. Yeah, but I wonder if someone can confirm whether crossbow dwarves can also wield a shield. Because I currently have a crossbow dwarves equipped with a shield, but I don't know if that works. Oh, right. Steel shields should also be put in there. Oh, thank you. Let's ask for 10 of those. Kind of need protruding towers for walls to get rid of pesky wall huggers. And that's true. We could plan, like, if we had a pair protruding, wall, like, kind of towers here and here, they could cover the area between and under the underhang. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll adjust our thing when the siege goes away. That is actually a really good idea. I only know it's possible to use small shields with crossbow in adventure mode. Sorry, okay. And yeah, you're right. And that's one of the reasons these star forts were also quite popular. The star-like citadels, because no matter where you were on the wall, you could see the other walls and prevent things from attacking. But yeah, we kind of need some exclusion points, pillboxes. And that's actually the other thing. This like sort of wall thing with walking on top of it is a little overkill. All we need actually is over here is one little mini building that the dwarves could be told to go into so they could shoot anything that's at the gate. Stockpile arrows on the top floor. Well, we have a bunch of arrows here that the dwarves should hopefully be able to get to fairly soon. The wall is cool. Yeah. But yeah, we could, especially since, you know, we've got the road that comes in here, we could do sort of a welcoming gate that is also another area that our archers can fire from. We already have a little tunnel complex to connect everything up. So maybe. I don't hate that. I don't hate that one bit. That would look really cool. Charcoal jobs completed. Equipment mismatch. That's fine. Oh! There's a mandate. Make gloves. Well, interestingly enough, I do have gauntlet tasks going. I wonder if gauntlets count as gloves for the purpose of that mandate. Because it's not like he's asking for cloth gloves or leather gloves. He's just asking for gloves, period. Well, currently, 3 and then the 10 gauntlets. We can watch and see if that number goes down. And then see if the mandate number goes down. On the other hand, our metal crafters are pretty busy. What I could do is ask for, like, here, let's get leather gloves, because I've got some leather. And then maybe I can even ask for cloth gloves. I don't know if we really have a cloth industry, though. Oh, there's... Oh, there it is. Almost a typo. Yeah, I'm wondering... I bet you it is one of these. I'm betting the gauntlets won't count. Here. I'll queue up 3 and 3. We might not have the material for one versus the other. We might get errors about that. If we end up with extra gloves, it's hardly the end of the world. Because dwarves will just wear them. Let's take a look at our squads and check the ammunition situation here. Hunters use wood and bone bolts. The iron bows use wood and bone bolts for training and metal bolts for combat. I think this number is total number assigned to the squad. So first of all, I'm going to make sure 250 bolts are assigned. And I don't know if that counts as the ones they've got equipped. But that's enough for like 10 quiverfuls for my 10 dwarves. So I'm going to change that number. Yeah, anything above a certain size can't be dwarven atom smashed by dropping a bridge on it. There are very few things where that counts, though. Certain colossi, giant elephants, full-size dragons, I think, can't be atom smashed. But most everything else in the game can be deleted simply by dropping a bridge on it. Yeah, we'll definitely set up another station a little further away. I mean, I guess they could camp out some other section of the world, but they seem to like the bridge. And I wonder where... Oh, someone else just got shot. Nah, jumped away. I mean, some combat is happening. Minecart shotgun. Yeah, you can do some fun things with that. Okay, they are being shot again. Maybe it had to do with the allocation. I'm wondering if there wasn't enough bolts assigned to the squad, and so a bunch of people didn't have the ammo. I mean, I would expect messages about not having enough. No, I have this already set up, right? Steel bolts? Yeah, right in there. Never mind. Remove. They would throw warnings of not having enough of something. Top of the towers need siege weapons? Maybe. Although it's better if you can, like, force them down a long hallway. That's one of the things with our little ramp over here, this long ramp. This is a great place to put some ballistas at the end of it. Should build bridges all around your walls and tower, lower them when under siege. Well, one thing I was thinking about is connecting the central tower here to the outer wall with a bridge to make it easier to connect back and forth. But that could also be the thing we do with our tower over here, is have it connected to the wall here by a bridge. On the other hand, we can just go underground, which might be more dwarfy. But the bridges look cool. I guess since we've got nothing going on right now anyway because of the siege, let's plan our little gate over here. What we're gonna do, build, construct wall. I will use this auto mode. Actually, I guess we can just draw a rectangle and cancel the wall in the center. Might be a little simpler. I don't think it's going to go because of the tree. Oh, we'll go. Interesting. That. Oh, I guess if I want to make it a tower, what I actually want to do is do this. Build floor. Oh. Construct floor. That. Cancel this. Cancel that. Actually, we need to cancel one wall because we're going to have to build a ramp there so we can roof on top of this. So this is going to be a downstair. And then here we're going to have an up downstair. Oh, yeah. And then below this, we're going to have to do some mining, but I don't want to do that now, because that would just open up an access into our base, which would be no good. No water source. Who needs water? We must have someone in the hospital? Whoa. No. Who needs water? We have a fuck ton of booze. No one's burrowed. Oh, the second floor, I'm building a wall, so... the reason that this is being a wall, I'm going to build the wall and then carve fortifications into it. And the reason to do that is that way the wall here counts as floor for the level above. Whereas if you build the fortification, it doesn't count as a floor. Which might still be fine, but we'll do that. Animals? Maybe animals. Is that what happens? That could be. Now the thing is, we do actually have access, potentially, to a lot of water. Down over here are farming, which is... theoretically underway, hopefully. We have tons of water over here. I have everything sealed up to keep us safe. I guess the better thing to do might be to build a well. And I kind of like that idea. Now, ideally, you build a well that will, you know, maybe travel like a bunch of Z levels. We could plan an area like down here that's unlikely to conflict with any of the construction on the upper levels, and then every level might have access to a well. One of the places that often needs access to fresh water, though, is the hospital. So it might be nice to build a well like here. How does this line up to? If I go up, it would go through this guild hall. That's not the end of the world. And here, that's fine. And actually, we're not going to need well access to here. I think I like this spot very much for a well. Oh, this is our flesh reaper floor. That's why a lot of our stone cutters are so busy. Oh, no, that works out, yeah. Can you block off flyer access through the well with that legendary grate, or will that block water access? I think that will block water access. So yeah, flyers could be a problem, but that's just the situation. And just give it a mine instead. Because I don't want anyone falling down. Do I want to do the access stairway thing? I don't know if we need to. Okay, I can dig this out. See. When I use the grate, you can build a reservoir aside. Well, that's true. We could pump into a safe reservoir rather than... You know, I'm not too worried about flying creatures. The Forgotten Beast will probably mostly spawn on another level. Oh! Someone else got a hand. Well, it might be this, actually. It's hard to tell. There's no timestamp on the individual... Oh, that's not true. Yeah, no, so this is the one that happened. It's just blocked a bolt with a shield. Not a very exciting combat log. If you want to use the grate, you need to build a res... Yeah, okay, that was still the same message. How's our military equipment situation? Mostly on the tunnel stakes. Oh, there we go! Metal armor is just starting to trickle down to the tunnel stakes. The iron bows, ironically, are extremely well armored, despite the fact that, theoretically, they will be mostly fighting from range. Let's take a look at our barracks. We gotta cut the stream in a second. Did my construction jobs... My remove construction, is it... It's still there. I don't know why no one's coming around to do it. Being kind of annoyed by this. Check the mandate. Oh, the mandate was completed! Now, the question is, was it completed... Okay, the cloth gloves haven't progressed. It was completed with the leather, I think. I don't think we actually have the clothier set up, so this job's not going to complete right now. I'm just going to remove it from the queue. But I guess we made 3 leather gloves, and that did satisfy things. Okay. There's no burrow set. I kind of want to bring down the gate and fight these guys just before the end of the stream, because we're about to wrap up the stream. But I don't want to do it until we have our military equipped. The thing is, we're fine. At this point in the game, we can possibly just keep ourselves sealed in forever and ever and ever. I do like our archway of entry here. That is going to offer a secondary set of firing positions. I like that a lot. And I will be planning some tree chopping around here, just to make it easier to see things, and then, but we'll probably floor around here as well once the trees are done. In fact, we can just, road, we can just road quite wide to prevent anything from happening. 3 gloves, 3 pairs of gloves. I think when you ask gloves to be made, it makes them in pairs, but then I think if you're looking at the total amount of gloves you have, Yeah, I was going to say, the mayor's probably forbidding us from exporting gloves. Let's take a look at this mayor. So, SMZ35G, I suspect very much that you love gloves. Right here, yeah. See, SMZ likes Krylite, Fine Pewter, Kunzite, Mulebone, the color Slate Gray, gloves, querns, splints, giant snowy owls for their yellow eyes, the words of the crystalline steel, and the sound of the cerulean music. When possible, she prefers to consume yellow bullhead, golden crest, foxtail millet beer, one-humped camel's milk, and pearl millet flour. She absolutely detests oysters. I'm a very, very important person. Proud near her own fine table and fine seat. Yeah. A little bit more combat going on. Oh, there you go. We hit one on the shoulder. Cool. Well, maybe they'll just die of infections. Oh, more combat too. I've been wounded. It's very annoying. And you're losing grasp of your weapons. All right. I mean, they're slowly being whittled down. If we take a look at the list here, I mean, there's still these invaders. A lot of them have been injured and may not be able to wield the weapons anymore. We better have two towers slightly farther away from each other so they can't hide behind the new tower. I mean, potentially. What I might have is just more tower. But I mostly want this because I love the idea of an arch when you come in. I was just sold on the visual of the archway. So it's going to be that. And I like how we're fighting the siege while on our more casual battle plan. Just 4 dwarves occasionally patrolling the outside. The other thing I could do is they don't actually reach... Actually, let me check the notes. Yeah, the point is right on the wall, but they don't get there. If I built a wall here, I think it would force them to walk against the actual perimeter, and they might fire more often as well. An arch to try celebrate the triumph. I mean, that's it. It's the arch of goblin slaying. Oh, are they moving out? Well, they're not. They're not moving out. The siege is still active. They might be leaving, conceivably. Maybe the siege only goes away when they leave. Because I know if you kill enough of them, that will lift the siege. I would have expected the siege message to go away and then for them to start leaving. Most of medieval sieges were very casual affairs, people staring at each other. Yeah, I mean, you're just waiting for them to, like, get tired or get starved out. This goblin here is currently, I believe, trying to attack an alligator. The alligator is much faster than goblin. The 2 goblins! These 2 goblins are currently chasing this alligator, and they do appear to have it pinned in a corner. Oh, there we go. Holy shit, I think the alligator just exploded. Alligator tooth. What the hell? Strikes the alligator in the teeth with her iron shield, and the severed part sails away in an arc. Okay, well that's not actually the result I was expecting. You can trap them, that is true. I think alligators lay a ton of eggs. And you can do some funky stuff with it. They're chasing another alligator who's escaped into the water. Yeah, they haven't lifted the siege, they've just gotten themselves distracted. Well, maybe when they get back, they'll face, depending on what angle they come, they might face a different hail of arrows. We're gonna wrap it up here. I know, it's only 3 hours, I'm sorry, only 3 hours of continuous gameplay. I feel very disappointed. I do, actually, I do really feel disappointed. I like this game, I like my Saturday stream, but we're gonna wrap it up here. Next time we stream, we will definitely, there we go. See, the tunnel snakes are getting more and more of their armor. Our steel production is going great. This squad is going to be ready to take out anyone who's there. But yeah, we're just chill. We're just like, listen, you guys wait out there. We'll come back at you when we get a few more axes. Is that cool? Cool? Okay, excellent. Well, not axes. It's the armor I'm mostly concerned about. And we can practice our marksmanship at the same time. It's just lovely. This has actually been great for us. Good way for us to practice a lot of stuff, make sure defense is up to snuff, and develop a little bit of skill for some of our dwarves. Without really any threat whatsoever. There was that one goblin who somehow came in. Might have done it from a tree. He might have been like a really good climber, a really good jumper. Maybe the other goblins don't have that, so they weren't able to do it. But that worked out well. And in fact, at this point, it's possible our iron bolts could just go out there and beat the goblins to death with their iron crossbows, since they are fully armored. So they might be perfectly fine, but we won't take a risk. Next Monday in 2 days, is going to be Football Manager. We're going to continue the tale of Ayr United. Wednesday is probably going to be some more Hearts of Iron, and then next Saturday, some more Dwarf Fortress. Folks, thanks a lot for coming out. We're going to be wrapping it up here because I have to go and deal with some family stuff today. And I'll see you in 2 days. And that is it. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks everyone who subbed and watched and contributed to Whiskey and Chocolate Fun. And I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.